the ES up 0.03, but what isn't stagnant is oil. Oil headed aggressively to the downside here, guys, 2.83% as it gives up much of the week's gains. Ethereum was also strong today. It's given up its gains earlier, was up well over 3%, now just up 1/3%. Bitcoin giving up some of its latest gains, down 2/3%. Let's get into the rundown here with the first topic being Microsoft. You saw this one earlier. It is being sued along with OpenAI by the New York Times for copyright infringement. There are efforts by Microsoft and OpenAI to settle this. There's also a parallel lawsuit right now from some writers. How will this look for Microsoft and OpenAI in the new year? Guys?
Welcome. And I don't know. It's we talked about this, that we didn't think this story would affect the stock that much, but at the open there was a dip in Softy, and we've got a lot of these wicks, so we'll get this out of the way. You're going to see a few of these dark pool wicks, and we try to get rid of them, they'll come back. But there was a sell-off on Microsoft at the open. It managed to hold the bid pretty decently, and now you're just inside day on Microsoft. At the end of the day, there's probably going to be some kind of a settlement and a resolution in the coming months and whatever it might be. And you'll just see it down the line, like with different companies. This is just the first one, the New York Times. At the end of the day, usually you have to pay something to use other people's intellectual property. So down the line, if you're not getting sued by somebody, then as a big multinational, you're probably doing something wrong. I think that's the case here in Microsoft. Only 0.5% up, but that is better than the flat market. Overall. And you can put it into the bucket of trading near the highs as something which caught a little bit of a bid. And the good thing about where it caught the bid, previous day's resistance right down there at our closing price, 374. So it's stair-step to the upside. The only thing that would get me away from saying, hey, let's look for longs in Microsoft this afternoon on market strength is the fact that ARM is stronger, Snow is stronger, Meta is stronger. There's just a few other names out there that I think will provide more volatility in the afternoon than Microsoft.
All right. Yeah, we tweeted it out, man. What a fun day on Microsoft. And by fun, I mean not that much fun, but oh, that's a firm. Right, we just reshorted a firm right now, so we'll go bang on that one as that's coming back down for a little bit. We just shorted it. We'll see what happens. But here's Microsoft. If we're going to talk about it, let's do it right now. All right. So we took the long at 376. It's something that was on the sticky note, wherever that is. Here it is right here. We took the long. It worked out well. We got 50 cents or 40 cents. What's the high in Microsoft today? Oh, that's a wrong bad wick. Okay, so I can't even look at it. But anyways, nice move up, fell back in. We tried to protect that 375. It didn't work. And you guys saw that if we zoom back in here, we got out at 374.50. But the thing is, we bought it again, and we bought it again off of 374, that 374 bottom. And again, it was kind of the 200 period moving average. We had broke below it a little bit. But again, holding now. And then look what happened. We were able to take the long. And then, yeah, at the end of the day, we wound up getting our $1.80 or whatever it was. And there's our last piece out, 376. So again, that's about $2 there from the bottom. It's about $1.80 there from the bottom. We got it out all the way going up. And you guys remember, just before we went off air, this is around 11 o'clock, it went up to 375.30, fell back in. We got some more out around 375 and then held one out there at 70 again, kind of back into there. And then another out once we hit 76. So yeah. Not too bad today. Pretty good, actually, overall. I am looking at now a break. We're still going to be red on it because we didn't hold as much to get up there, but glad to make it back. I'm going to go long 376 on a break. So that's something that I want to look at here. 376, a break long here on Microsoft is going to be something that I'm looking at. And then another position that could come in here momentarily is going to be the Amazon long. Breaking through here. Well, maybe not. I want to take this top wick. 154.09. I want to take that long on Amazon as well. So a few trades that we're looking for. Obviously, the dip buys would be better if we can get some of those. But right now, I'm not sure the market's set up for it. I like to take out VWAP up there on the NQ before we see Amazon. But Amazon right now looking pretty healthy to the upside there. Look, bottom, bottom, bottom. So he keeps getting higher lows as Amazon looks to work out. And I do want to smack that through 154.09.
Tesla down on the day 2%, $10 worth of range today, guys, with a 265 high and now breaking down to that 255.40 low. Essentially, the news headline for Tesla today was competition. The Xiaomi Suki, I hope I pronounced that right, is a new EV, essentially out of China. It's supposed to be able to compete with the Tesla Model S Plaid and the Porsche Taycan. Let's have a look at it because I think it's a good looker here, guys. This is the blue variant of it, and here's some side profile. Some great looking rims there, I'll tell you. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it looks like a nice car. I don't know exactly what they're going to be able to produce in terms of numbers, but they're talking about an 800-kilometer range, very similar 0 to 100 speed, but they're looking at scaling this into late 2024. There is no price yet on, though, but market commentators saying about 125,000 probably starting price, guys.
And I bet you the margins aren't nearly as good as Tesla's because nobody's are. So that's okay. Well, whatever. That's not saying anything special. The only who makes money on EVs right now? BYD and Tesla and I don't know, maybe Li Auto. You could tell me, Sharif. Li Auto probably is profitable. Yeah, Li Auto makes money on their cars. So those three for sure, and I don't really know anybody else. And if you guys know anybody else, you guys can tell me that. None of that mattered for Tesla today. Absolutely none of it. Now, I did have a keystroke error on Tesla. At the open, I went to move a level 2 from Tesla to ARM and punch in. And I punched in, but I did not move it from Tesla to ARM. Thankfully, I just got right out. It only so happens to be the high of the day. It was actually it was just the timing of it. I was going dip buy at the open. I wanted to go dip buy. And I saw the level 2 on ARM. I was like, oh my goodness, move over to execute. Well, I saw the chart on ARM, went over to level 2 and said need to execute, hit bid enter. And that ends up being the high of the day. This has been a stair step to the downside that's held on to almost nothing. There has not really been a bid. The unfortunate thing here is it's a stock that looked like it was breaking out. The good news is on the higher time frame, you're still, and this is a bad wick. Let me just show you where the actual bottom. The actual bottom's here at 255, right? So we go to the daily chart. The 255 level, still you're making some higher lows, even with this big pullback. So if it can hold on to 55, it's not completely doom and gloom for this very gentle upward trend in Tesla. But for today, it has been a rocket ship to the downside. That 55 looks like a good base for a bit of a bounce play. And then I got 58 marked off because that feels like if it gets back up there, forget about VWAP if you're looking for a fade play. I think 58 would make some sense here on Tesla.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I mean, we're down here on the 20-minute chart, right there. It's a good thing we didn't get too involved in this. I mean, I liked the 260 level there, and it didn't really work. I mean, it came in once and worked nicely at 261, but then once it took 260, it was kind of like game over from that. You did have a nice move back to 260 right there, so that's going to be an easy short, but you're well away from that. If it gets up to 260, then that's going to be a great long. I just wonder, I'm trying to go long Microsoft, Amazon, and all that. What are we short, really? We're short AMD. Oh, thanks for asking about AMD. I will talk about that when we talk about the chips, which I guess we'll be talking about with ARM. Yeah, that bottom's pretty nice, man. 255.50. I wonder if it's worth taking a 50-cent shot here. You know, breaking back, I'll get that garbage out of here and then go back up to the upside. What is this price? 256.27. I'm going to go long. I'm going to go long 256.27. I made crazier moves than risking 75 cents on Tesla. So I feel like that bottom could be there. The only thing is that normally we don't want to go long into names when the market is below VWAP, and then that would be counter this stock, right? So maybe we go long there and we only give it back to 256. I don't know. Let's try that. I do like that break there because I think that if you swoop up to that, then you could get up to 257. So that's like 75 cents to risk 25. Might be worth it there. So something to consider on Tesla. I still like the stock for sure. I actually just tweeted something out, by the way. If you guys want to see this, I think it's pretty cool. We just talked about making money and whatnot. I actually just said that for me, an investment in Tesla due to the Cybertrucks made sense for the following 10 reasons. And then we give 10 reasons there about why the Cybertruck could be something that sparks Tesla into the new year. Go over at TraderTV Sean and find that out. Neo 928, I mean, that was a good little move down there as well. I have to zoom in because Neil was mentioning there as well about the charts. All right, so 925. That actually would have been pretty good because, see, that's a 925 bottom right there. Came in the open and then came in again. And then you got that little wick down. Actually, that's on 930, sorry. 928 are the wick bottoms there. So, yeah, I like NEO as well. Let's think about that. Oops, let's think about that Tesla trade. I think there could be something here. Breaking through 260, what did I say, 256.20s? Yeah, I'm gonna look at that a little closer and most likely make it. AMD was a really nice short off that number, but as the market comes in, I'm talking about the bond, as the James bond, once the market comes back in a little bit, we'll talk about this with ARM and whatnot, but ARM has been a monster and AMD took 150 today, guys.
Apple winning its appeal yesterday, guys, with against the ITC's decision to ban the sale of its Apple Watch 9 and Ultra 2. Yesterday, they filed a stay with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. They now have until January 10th, I'm talking about the ITC, to vary its decision. As a part of Apple's overall sales, it should be noted that their wearables business reported $39.8 billion in 2023 in terms of revenue, so it's definitely not small for them. I'm not saying that's all attributable to the watch. Here's a look at the price action on the day, a bit of a downward channel at that critical whole dollar level, though, guys, 194 right now.
Yeah, it's been teetering back and forth off of 194. Like, it's at the open, it was a clean break through 94. On the way back in, it wasn't clean. It was essentially a VWAP bounce off of 94. They couldn't get past 94.5. And I didn't trade it again. And after that first initial bounce off 94, didn't trade it again until it was above VWAP, looking for the long off VWAP. Thankfully got out of the way of that. And oddly enough, like at 1 o'clock, as Sean mentioned, at 1 o'clock, there was a bond auction, right? So you're going to see, this isn't a crazy wick on Apple, but that move down on the auction turned into a double bottom for Apple, which it's now basing out off of. This feels like a long again off of 194. But like I said, it's not the strongest name out there. There's, ARM we'll talk about, obviously. There was a Snowflake that we're already in, and AMD is pretty strong, but you're not going to get VWAP on any of those. And then Meta's the one I was going to say. I knew it was a Mag 7 name. Meta was the biggest runner that ignored the bond auction. I feel as if this making a secondary move might be better and more volatile than Apple today. I'm not even sure Apple makes more than like a 50-cent move off some of these levels, whereas Meta, if it pulls into VWAP at 360, if it holds out the morning range high, 360.5, you can get better moves off of levels like that on Meta this afternoon. I think the volatility is going to be there. If we have a 30-handle range in the futures, which is possible for the afternoon, then try to find the names that are going to have more outsized moves and opportunities for you. That's why I'm thinking I'm staying away from Apple at this point.
Look, I'm up on Apple. Apple's going to be my number 2 stock. AMD first, Apple, then Affirm. All the A's today working out for me. But here we go. So again, Apple was a little difficult off the open. We did not believe in the short, but the short did come in. So we just kept buying. Eventually, we got a little bit out there at 193.90 on that break, but we bought it right back and then took 40, 50 cents to the upside. Held our last 10% and got out at the bottom there once it broke that little bottom. Apple, once again, we did it. It's another positive stock. I like the name. It's a sticky note name, that and Microsoft. But right now, we're getting close, man. We're getting close to punching into the longs again. We should probably take the long in Apple. That will probably work out great. I'm excited to see. I mean, what's going on here? So I guess it's Roblox going up. Intel. First of all, AMD's coming back in just a little bit right now. I just want to talk about it because I do have a bid here in this range because it's kind of moving up. Did I just get that fill on AMD? No, I did not. Okay, so it's moving around quite nicely here on AMD, but it just keeps on coming back in and then fading off this exact level of 85. So we're only short now at 03s. We did capture a lot of profit back down to the downside. You can see our best outs is only 50s, but we had that move on that auction all the way to the downside. And it wasn't even about that. It was about failing at 150 and then hitting the short, got out, reloaded it, then boom, all the way to the downside, and then those were some great outs pretty much at the bottom. Let's see if we can do it again. I'm going to get out if we take down 105.22. I do have 30% left on this trade, so it'll be a winning trade. It'll be a winning name, like I said. The number 1 name here today will be AMD, but if I have to get out at the top, it might be number 2. So let's wait to see what happens here. So far, so good here as we continue to trade.
All right, guys, crypto volatile. Again, Bitcoin down 2%. ETH was up large earlier this morning, giving up most of its gains, just up 0.75% now is ETH. Let's look at some of the mining names. Mara up down big, 8.25 after having multiple good days to the high side. Coinbase as well, marginally green at the moment, 0.6% in the green, trying to dance here at break even. This is what I was talking about with Bitcoin, below that $43,000 level at the moment. Is there any trade on these ones, guys?
Well, there's been trades. Well, Coinbase was an absolute rocket ship. I'll start with Mara because that's what I was actually trading today. But then we can go into Coinbase because that was more of a rocket ship. In a week that's been a holiday shortened week. Actually, this week, since I started trading in 2003, like the final week of the year, generally speaking, as a trading week, is been a pretty consistently good one. And a lot of times, because when things work, they work easily. Sometimes it can be frustrating. Today, I think goes into the frustrating category. But generally speaking, it's a good week. And the last day of the year tends to be good as well for a day trader. But today, for everything that Mara has been great in the last few bits, today stunk. Like the pre-market, it bounced off 28, and that was fantastic. And then every subsequent short was just poorly timed. Every one. Like I was in the short off to 29.75 on the front end, not the back end. I was then in again on the front end, not the back end. I then went for the short underneath 28 in the consolidation. That's the only one that actually went to plan. Short the consolidation, get it out when it breaks back above. And then I had this one above VWAP. 1, 2, 3 times, holding a core position, and then reloading the short. And then right there at 130, it broke the channel, stopped out. I got up to take a break and came back. It's like, wow, that was the actual top. That's going to happen. So that's what I mean, like frustration. But I'm always going to have the out. Never turn a stock that's frustrating or bad into something that like ruins it. So like, you try to keep it. You try to keep the loss reasonable. So like one bad stock, it doesn't really make a gigantic difference if you can. But it's easily the most frustrating stock. But what's interesting is down 7.8% on Mara, but Coinbase, since the open, is just a rocket ship. It's green on the day. Its low of the day was right at about 9.25, so pretty much at the open. Then it did a double tap of 180 on the bid, and then just went rally mode. There was this little dip in here was right when that bond auction happened, and it's kind of under those levels. But this is super strong. I mean, we had Kevin O'Leary on sort of talking about how these guys aren't out of the waters yet, but the rally in this name has just still been impressive. So I think you have a bit of a divergence between these two, talking about Mara and Coinbase. They've been rallying together. Suddenly you've got some strength over there in Coinbase. Maybe VWAP will be a thing. I think it might be more interesting at the 184 even, given that wick it had just before we came back, or sorry, just before 1 o'clock there on Coin. So if it goes green, it's still got a double top at 187 from yesterday's high. That could set it up for a breakout. I think if Coin decides to break out the high today, I think it's worth a shot, just given how strong it's been in the past. And it's clear relative strength in the market today.
All right. Just preparing some stuff tomorrow. We're going to have the podcast tomorrow. Just preparing that. Okay. Intel. We just got some out of Intel. What are we talking about? Crypto. Okay. We just got out of some Intel again. Whoops. Yeah, there's our chart. We shorted Intel. Just got some out right there again. So we're going to find out about that one. I don't have anything crypto today, but again, that Coinbase trade. Great trade again, up at 187. We actually talked about that earlier. And then Mara, another big name there, fading off $30. I mean, a pretty good trade. The one for me that I feel like is going to fall the hardest, and it's not just because I'm out of it. I mean, I am out of it. I'm out of everything. I don't own. The only thing I own in crypto is crypto, which is really nice, man. Let's, anyways, HUD 8. The reason why I talked this about HUD 8 is, we've sort of looked at this a little bit, and I said this move down off the reverse split there, and then the move right back up was kind of puzzling to me. So I could see this name sort of settling in and around somewhere like $12, $13. So I feel like if the next couple days the market is not overly kind to crypto, which it's been fine, it's 42.6, but if we do get a pullback, this would be my number one issue, or my number one short, I guess, in the crypto space. But here, let's look at some crypto coins right now. We did have Kevin O'Leary on, and by the way, I spoke with his team, and they were very, so by the way, Sharif, good positive feedback from them, from you. They like you, so that's good. So I was like, oh, that's strange. No, but just playing around. Good job, Sharif. That's good. What? Show him again. I want to party up, Sharif. Come on, man. Just pretend Arsenal, whatever the team you like, scored there. Okay.
He's laughing because they don't score enough.
Yeah, they don't. Okay, so just quickly here, Ethereum, right? Solana, he was talking about that. XRP, I don't think he mentioned Ripple. He didn't mention my baby, Cardano. Damn it. Should have asked him about that. But he did mention Polygon. What a surprise, from 0 to 100. $1 right now, up 27%. I own some of that, but I probably own it higher off the look. But yeah, anyways, it's always nice when you open up your crypto wallet and it's booming, and it's been doing that for a little while. So congratulations to anybody that's in that. And by the way, okay, we did get reloaded. We're still him, guys. A firm right now. A nice little downside move, despite us running into, well, there we go. We just swiped it up a little bit there. You might have saw some prints. But there it is. We'll take it out on the 50 period. I actually missed that we went all the way down there. So we reloaded. A firm has been a great trade today. Honestly, guys, boom. Boom, did it. We got stopped. So we got in there, took it again, got stopped out, used that as the high, and then nice move down, reloaded. Unfortunately, we don't have anything down here. I was getting greedy. I was waiting for a 50 break, should have punched out. Let's see if we can get it again. If we get back down to view up, let's empty the clip on this one as we wait for Amazon and Microsoft to still bust higher.
ARM is an absolute rocket ship today, guys, as it's been for, say, the last month and a half, 5.14%. There is no headline on this. The last entry I have on ARM is this upgrade from Rosenblatt, boosting the price target from 85 to 10, but that was on Boxing Day on the 26th. Nothing today specific to this move, but it is trending higher as we speak, awfully close to the high of day, 78.16, trading at 78.06, guys. What is the look on ARM?
Well, I'm trying. It's a tricky long up here because the volume's not all that great. But, you know, ARM has been an absolute rocket ship. Let's first just acknowledge that this has been a great IPO. Like, understandably, there've been the timing of ARM's IPO. Obviously, anything in 2022 would have been rough for a lot of companies. But, you know, this is something which came out in a different market, and people still said it was overvalued. I said it was the valuation, it was overvalued, and I wasn't comfortable buying it till I saw like an earnings report that was good, which clearly I think a lot of people had that same thought, because since then it has been just on fire to the upside. So respect the trend is your friend. I had a late break. I wish I could tell you I had a 75 breakout, but you know, I made a keystroke error. I was looking for the dip buy. We talked about the part of the plan this morning that was dipping into 74.5. And when I saw that happen on the chart, I flipped level 2 over, did not catch the dip buy, and then it was a rocket ship. I just broke a 76 trade out for a scalp trade, and then several dip buys. That the first dip into 77.2, that didn't hold. Then when it held a higher low, I had another dip into that price that I held out to 77.80. I then got long about 77.80, looking for it to break the high of the day. It just didn't happen. So while the long has been good, ARM has been consistently a good long, I haven't been able to hold on to it as strong as it has been. And sometimes that's going to happen to you. The market's been in this weird downward trend where I keep thinking we're going to have a bit of a rollover, and it just doesn't happen for this name. So you're breaking out the high of the day here. I think I look for some 78s. This is a stock that probably, you know, I think it's going to have a great, I think it's, look, relatively to a lot of names in the space, I think it's going to have a great 2024. That's the year that I'm looking for next year. And it's off to a roaring start for its very short life here on ARM. I am in Intel and I have been in like several times throughout lunch. I got back in pretty much every time it wicked me out. The last is off the lower high here at 50.55. But we're in, it stopped me out, was in lower, stopped me out, then got back in, and it's now at 50.30. Intel down 1%. But I think part of the story here is it got to huge resistance on the daily. If you zoom it out far enough, you'll be able to see it. There you go. Huge resistance there on the daily at 52 after a gigantic run to the upside, and it's giving it a little back. So Intel down almost a full percent today. I think that's a short back into the 50-50. But ARM, it's the strong arm of the law today. Yes,
sir. All right, so just real quick, AMD just dripped into 60s. Drip. So right there, man, we'll take 43 cents and buy those 60s. And we just took that out because remember we said, or it wasn't 60, we got filled at 65. 60, sorry, is the 200 period moving average. We've bounced again. So now we only have, Well, from this position, we probably have about like 5% left, but we just took out about 10%. So we had about 15%. I took out 10 for sure. So now we have a little small piece left, and we'll see if it wants to continue to work. The good thing about the show is we do what we want around here. And coming in the new year, I know Neil just mentioned ARM. We're going to talk about it in the new year coming next week. We're going to give a couple picks on what we think could work into the new year. So kind of like... we haven't decided how many picks, but maybe like 5 names that each of us can give you, and then we'll recap them like in March, and then we'll recap them in June. And I feel like that's something that a lot of, let me know in the chat if you guys like that right now. I think that's something that you guys have talked about a lot. We talk about our positions all the time, but maybe we could do like a little rundown and have some fun with you guys next week.
Yeah.
So
what's crazy, I think over the course of the last, I'm not going to say them out loud because we'll do them.
Yeah.
We'll keep the suspense. But if you've really been paying attention, at least for the two of us, I don't want to speak for Brendan, over the last 2 months, I think you could probably get 3 or 4 for each of us if you've really been paying attention. And I just said one, so I'll stop talking about ARM. But I like the idea. It's certainly something we can sink ourselves into and have a little bit of fun with. And the best thing about it is I'd love to hear some ideas from other people as well.
Exactly.
Especially in sectors that we don't talk about. I think like the number of times I'll look back, or you'll go over the ETF recap, and it's like, shoot, that's what TAN did today, or holy crap, I thought, like Moderna broke 100 today the other direction, and I didn't even notice it, and that's been an absolute rocket ship. I don't wonder if there's a dip buy opportunity in Moderna because it's been a bit of a run.
I love Moderna there.
And I looked to make sure that Pfizer wasn't completely dying when it happened. But I just heard it. Did I hear in my ear that we're going back to the desk? Ram?
All right, guys, the rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on our desk and by many of our traders every day. See what's moving in the moment with Trade Ideas. Check out the link in the description for 25% off. Use code tradertv.live.
Oh yeah, Moderna. That's what I wanted to look at.
Yeah, I'm just looking through. Oh, here, this is funny. I was just looking through. I mean, I still have the positions on. I'm still waiting for Microsoft and Amazon to go. Here we go. Canned. There it is. I was in groceries. I think this might even be Walmart or Loblaws or something. There it is, canned. We talked about that. What I was actually looking for here, ooh, that was so good, this meatball. Oh my God, we went to this crazy on my day off. Bevy Bira is an amazing, based in Miami, Florida, but they're here now. It is so good. These sandwiches that they have there.
Delicious.
This is a meatball. It's homemade pork and beef. It was like, ay. Oh, here's Sherway.
You want weird? Go back to that picture.
This, San Pellegrino?
Yeah, that San Pellegrino
It's pear, I think.
with a 15-year aged El Dorado, that was my birthday drink.
Oh, okay.
Like literally, I had that
Is
in
that-
rum on my birthday. Like not same can.
Okay.
It's literally my.
Is it pear? I don't know what I drank.
No,
there.
it's like
Is it
I think it's like grapefruit.
Okay, yeah. There was a pear one. That must have been
We have a
tasting
whole
nice.
case of that stuff. Dude, it's delicious. Put that with rum. It's delicious.
What I'm looking for here, which is taking me forever, is I asked a couple weeks ago. It's gonna take me forever here as we're the Grinch. There it is. Merry Christmas. I'll find it, but we can go to Neil in a second. What I'm looking for is I had asked a couple weeks ago. I'm stopped doing this. I'll find it. Asked a couple weeks ago some ideas from you guys. I think there's like 28 or 30 responses on Twitter. So I was going to look for that to see if there was any talk there.
I love the answers we get. I asked for some gaming advice.
Here it is. It's right here. It was the very next one.
I asked for game advice for the.
Yeah. What did people tell you? I gave you the best one.
I got great suggestions.
Yeah.
The brain game that you mentioned was fantastic, and Wayne mentioned like a farming game, which I'd have to look up the name.
What is it called?
I wasn't familiar.
I probably
with it.
have that game.
I'll look in a second. It was in the chat. But then someone actually said Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw that. I saw someone say that.
I mean, no.
I don't know. My 12-year-old wants it. I'm still saying no.
That. Like, what point would you say yes to GTA?
It's rated M, so. I think it depends on what your kids are about.
I actually don't know what the rating, like what does that mean?
That means mature.
That's like what, like okay,
18 plus probably.
Yeah, I would have thought.
I think there's S. I think there's. This is what we say around my kids, what they can spell. I think there's SEX in it.
In Grand Theft, yeah.
Yeah, like the idea of it.
Okay. I always thought that was probably more like if you're 13 or 14.
At least when I was playing Vice City, I thought you could go around and talk to lady friends and stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you could do that.
In Grand Theft Auto, there's some of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabian's like, yeah, man, it's my favorite game. Okay. But no. Okay, so here's some. Yeah, there is.
Earmuff.
There we go. Someone said 17. Yeah, exactly. So that's what it is. Hookers are on it. Okay, thanks, Dan McIsaac. So I didn't want to say that, but.
Whoa, hey, you know,
That's a good name, right?
Sex work, ladies of the night, sex workers.
Yeah. I don't know what word to use. Okay, here we go. So this was back on December 20th. I said, give me some ideas that people think could work from these levels. I mean, we have Palantir there. This one's funny. What's up to D? Long or short SPY. That's a good one. Amazon, Rumble. No, I disagree with Rumble. I do like Amazon at 150. So shout out to Pranaya there, who's actually. Thanks for the book. I'm starting that right now. The Crazy Stitch Lady, I didn't even realize that. No wonder you're saying Disney, because when I see you in the chat, I didn't know you were Lilo and Stitch. So that's you there. My daughter loves that. She's never seen anything about Stitch, but loves it for some reason. T-Doc, I think, is good. These are some interesting names here from Momo FOMO. Baba, Disney, Nike, all names that have been recently pretty beat up. So those are good ones as well. Alcoa, hard to disagree with that, especially if we are not entering a recession and more spend coming on industrial. Chewy, PayPal, I like those names. XBI, sure, man. The biotechs, Simon Property Group, I'm still in that name as well. Lyft, disagree. CRISPR Therapeutics, I'm not sure. I'm not going to go, well, that pretty much is all of them. There's more down here. But anyways, some pretty interesting names. I'll put this in the chat right now if you want to add to it. And then Bears versus Bulls can probably help you out otherwise.
For XBI, just because I like the chart, I've looked at.
Yep.
I like where, if it breaks out, it's obviously a big if, but the biotech names, like the long off the bottom is fantastic, just waiting for this to zoom all the way out. Like through 95 here, you could have a really big break, and you just had a trend break in the 80s. So like this is something that's working with implied support back at the 200 period moving average at $80. Like that is a buy the dip. Now, obviously, a lot of times you might have individual names that you like in the ETFs, but you don't sleep on the ETFs in general. It saves you the time of having to pick. Like, okay, what's going to be the one? If you don't have a strong sense of what's going to be the one, then just
tired of like trying to rotate in and out of things. Like, if you get the XBI, then you're going to get some Eli Lilly, you're going to get some Bristol Myers, you're going to get some Pfizer, some Moderna, whatever, and you can go find out. I don't know the exact holdings, but I'm just giving you an example. XLV is what I was looking at for healthcare as well.
C4.
No,
how about no for that?
Trimming ARM, adding NVIDIA, yeah. I mean, all kind of plays. And I do think that, I do think that there are enough reasons to do that, to sector rotate and things like that, right? So, yeah, I think the sector that's going to continue to work will be the chip space. So
apparently C4 is doing things.
C3.
I thought.
Oh, C4. I see C3 AI.
You know, this quad C stock, it's like
I remember that, yep.
Anyways, if someone put it in the chat, I'm like, oh, you think this is the stock to go long beginning of the year? And it's actually, no, I think it's just that it's moving right now is why I was putting it in the chat.
Put all your money into that.
It's breaking the high of the day as we speak. So quad C, C4, breaking the high of the day, $6. Looks like a key level on the daily. But I don't know, like, we have a lot of crazy wicks in the chart, but on the daily chart, this looks like it's breaking a key level at 6 even. So shout out to whomever mentioned that. I did miss that. I did miss that just now. And I see there's a really good point, DJK. Like, I love NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA is a lot cheaper than you think. Right now, NVIDIA, in terms of like PE, it's cheaper than AMD right now. But I think AMD is at a bit of a curl in terms of its earnings. So that's the kind of thing that can definitely change. I meant to get to Moderna. I said it a few times, and we didn't really look at the chart. ARM just dipped into 78 just now. But 100 on Moderna was a pretty clean break once it held underneath. It's now at 98 even. If you look at where this thing has been going, look back at $96 here. Like, you had a couple of days in a row where this kind of chilled out at 96 and then ran away from the price. I think that's an interesting buy area. For sure, the 90 level is a big one as well. Just looking for where this could be a pullback. That 96 also gives you the previous support going back into mid this year. So this is in the middle of a dip on Moderna that could be a little bit juicy. And then I want to mention Nike at least, because Nike, I don't know if we get 110 today, but 110 since the big Hwadunk, 110 was the resistance level that it's been trying to break out of. And it's about 70 pennies away from that breakout. Might happen today on Nike. It's hard to bet for a breakout like that, you know, when you have lower volumes and the ES or the NASDAQ doing nearly nothing, the ES doing nearly nothing. It's very range bound, but it's a pretty strong stock. Maybe look for a buy the dip situation there if you're actually trading it, because it's been a solid stair step to the upside.
I see in the chat there, Pacific Standard. Yeah, ARM just keeps on going. Wow. He's mentioning that, yeah, AMD is all the way down. And it is, man. I mean, we're in the money 50 cents again. But like I said, we only have a small piece left of this. Still enough to do some damage. So if it goes to the downside, we'll take it. But I'm just waiting for 149. I don't even know if I want to play these kind of breaks. You know, ever since
Tesla just broke 55.
Oh, shoot.
But it might be a wick bottom.
Oh, you know what?
Wick bottom.
Wick bottom. I was looking at that.
Oh,
okay.
idea.
So it didn't take that. It did take that 250. Well, it did not. That 256.50. Okay, here we go. Now Tesla trying to make that move. Look at the S&P trying to get back upside again. I don't know. Are we catching? I mean, we are catching a falling knife by going long. I just don't know, man. We're already under a lot of different levels, but this could be it. Again, good volume there. Nice sell side volume. Something just broke on Tesla. Obviously, all the way back down into the downside there. So nice move, but let's see if it can hold on that. So that's going to be a nice little trade there. Obviously, you know, you're going to want this thing to go up a little bit more here than where we are. But let's see here what happens. We'll see. That's a good name for sure. Tesla. Intel's not doing much. AMD still trying to bounce off that. I might just get out here.
Where's NVIDIA?
I don't know what NVIDIA's doing.
Close to 5?
Yeah, it has to be somewhere close. But with AMD pulling back, 496.50.
Really?
Okay, there was a big, what's a VWAP there in the chat? There was a big seller pushing down to 256. Okay, so that was going to be, you're talking about Tesla again for us right now. So, all right, let's see. That 255 bottom could be interesting. I may go long at some point here. What's SoFi? SoFi? I don't know. I'm trying to find names that are actually moving like outside areas because I'm still waiting for Microsoft, which is not here, and or Amazon.
When I took the scalp trade here in Tesla, it's a wick bottom. When I say wick bottom, I mean it broke the even dollar and then immediately came back above. So the play is, generally speaking, get the even on the way back in with a stop at the low. So I got 10s in. The low, it's hard to see, there's a silly dark pool in there. The low is at 82, so it's about 28 cents worth of risk. The second went up to 38, like it went right to like 37, 38, which was 1-to-1. Took some out there at that 1-to-1. Now I look for the top end of this range, which I just put at the wrong spot. So like 256 and change would be the next level up. But it is catching a falling knife. There's no question about it. But that's a very specific even dollar break, or I guess false break. If it holds on to 55, great. Now that it's above 55, I'm actually going to move the stop and it hit the 1-to-1 target, move the stop to the even. Instead of the low of the day, once it goes at 1-to-1, move it to the even. If it can hold on to the even, then great. I can consider a reload or something along those lines. I would like a short idea, like something that I really like to the short side. And outside of, I had said 58 on Tesla. That's an obvious one. I'm not sure what I like to the south side. So I do want some short ideas out there. Obviously, I'm not thinking about any small caps. I do have ARM. That's another long. Moderna is like that could be something stair-stepping to the downside, but I don't see an obvious entry price. If it came back to 99 or 99.5, I think that sets up for a bit of an entry. But outside of that, not too much to sink your teeth into unless you're shorting the literal low of the day, which I'm generally not a huge fan of. Okay, well, we're into something here. It's Microsoft. It did take, so we wanted to wait for it to break that 09. So that's the price that we got right there. I wanted to give it to sort of some of the, like this kind of top right there. That was actually 05. So we meant to get 06s and we wound up getting 09 or 08 half. Not bad. That's good slippage. So we'll see if it can go back up to the upside. I'm trying to give this a little bit more, maybe a little bit more room, but I'm thinking down to like 75 or so would be good enough for me, especially if we break below. That little bottom wick there is 666. So why don't we just use that and play with the devil now? You know, we've already lost on Microsoft. This is basically my only red stock. I mean, I have other red stocks, but the only one that actually is red, like real worth red right there. Like we said, we could buy a couple cups of espresso cold foam, whatever now with a firm, so that's worked out. But 375.65 or so. All right, let's see. I was going to try to take out 10% up there at 20s, but that never got going. Maybe we're just going to be slow the rest of the day. I mean, look, of course, this is what's going to happen to you, right? And so it breaks on a break of VWAP, but then the market just comes right back in again.
So here we go. You know, this could be just the case of what we're going to have to deal with here in the market on a fade move down. Will Microsoft still watch the futures or take its own path higher? Let's wait to see on that one. But I feel comfortable giving this 30 cents. It's definitely not acting the way, it's actually acting great. You know, if you'd have told me that Microsoft broke it on a VWAP break and then VWAP pulled back 10 handles, then maybe what's up, man? Oh, yo, what's up, Gregory? How's it going, man?
Yo, what up,
How's
bro?
everything?
Merry Christmas,
How's
brother.
holidays?
Good, man. Good.
Good, man.
Do we have
Great
a
to
mic
see
now? You know, we can talk.
Yeah, where you're how's Montreal going?
This is Greg, former floor manager here, 10 years with the company. You've seen him before, visiting the office. What's up, brother?
We got the new mic now going. It's
Yeah,
good to see you
because
guys
Randy
here.
keeps coming by and talking into the mic, so.
It's good to see you guys still doing your things.
Yeah,
Things are
yeah.
good, just enjoying the holidays. I couldn't believe market was opening on Boxing Day. I'm like, these guys are still going.
Yeah,
It
we're
never
animals.
stops.
Always, man.
Now let me ask you a question. Is it true that the market cannot be closed for 4 days in a row?
That is true. The only time it's happened, well, for sure 9/11. And I don't know if there's another time that happened, but that is the rule. That's why you get a half day on Thanksgiving Friday, because they have to open the market. And of course, the weekend counts for 2 days.
Yeah, definitely. So I hope all your viewers are doing well, and I hope they appreciate the effort you guys are putting in. It's not easy to do the show, not easy to come out here, trade every day. And on top of that, you know, live to air. So yeah, a big shout out to you guys for keeping it going, keeping the energy up. And yeah, the amount of passion that takes, I just really have a lot of respect for you guys. So well done.
Yeah, man,
We
thank
love
you.
you, brother. Appreciate
Promise
it.
me maybe you'll come back. We have a podcast now. Maybe I can get you on that at one point. Sure. All right. We had Kevin O'Leary on today, by the way. Fan favorite. Okay, Gregory. Wow, always nice to see. This is the thing about being on a prop floor. It's like at any given moment, you know, blasts from the past. So thanks to Greg for coming through there. Now Wayne managing now. So it's been a good run for sure. As we'll look to get more and more successful traders on the floor, and that's what's going to happen. So, all right, like and subscribe and all of that. Thank you so much there again.
Oh,
What happened there?
I was hitting this, and then Fabian hit that. I pity
yeah.
the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button. It's all about the tank that I just took out there. That's how I roll. I got like the bazooka.
Yeah, you got the bazooka there. All right. I like that one. I like that like and subscribe. All right. Well, Microsoft is working. You know, we're 15 cents in the money. It's trying to go. You know, I got a little bit of revenge on my mind, if you know what I'm saying right now. We've actually done fine on Microsoft. And I just, you know, we had 276 written. So twice, man. Once, twice, 3 times sold on Microsoft. I'm going to get out some more 18s here if we're lucky enough to get it, as there it is. So let's just see. The last time, this is my first out. Last time, it's my first out this time. So I'm already out right now of 20%. It's pretty pathetic because it's not really moving. Let's just hold the rest. We already have our out now. The out is in. I don't want to get out any more Microsoft until this level. 376.45. Let's put the order there, and then we'll get out of another 20% if and when it gets up there. So I'll do some quick math. All right, I got the 20% mark. So we'll put that out there right now and wait to see if we can get it up to 376.50 again and see if that one wants to work. It's softy. It's trying to go to the upside. The other trade that could happen at any given minute would be AMZ.
I gotta ask Dan McIsaac what he means by this, because
Go ahead.
Dan just said, "Does Sean know about old Greg?" What's old? I don't know what you mean by old Greg. Is there another? Like, Greg is the. We've been in a long time. I actually don't think there's ever even been another Greg on the trading floor. I can't think.
I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll
in
have to-
20 years, I can think of one Greg, and that's the Greg here. So if I'm forgetting somebody, then you get. Let me know. You get old, you traders blend in, or you forget names. I'm not going to pretend that I'm immune to that, but I can't think of anybody but our Greg there, and he's definitely not old. He's a young man. Dear friends just said PayPal analysis. I don't know if you've looked at PayPal today.
I have
But
not.
it's it's up 1%, but today up 1% is kind of a rocket ship for some of these names. And it has done nothing but sort of scale to the upside here pretty cleanly. The good news about PayPal, set an alert for the 64 break. Maybe 65 is a little bit better, but the 200 period moving average is right there. Look at the clean, gentle trend up on PayPal, and it coincides with a breakout at that top, giving you the 200 period moving average, which I always like. So PayPal's on the mind. I just want to see it make that next step up, which could be breaking 64. I think that can be a play maybe early in the new year. Heck, that could happen tomorrow. It's at 63.30. So that could be a level that you mark off for tomorrow on a breakout, 64 on PayPal. Chris saying, oh my God, Mullen up huge. I paid for locates and then didn't use them today on Mullen. Just fine. They were super cheap. It was just, I paid. It's not a fail paying for locates and not using them. If a trade doesn't set up, then you shouldn't do it. I missed the chance to short 15 here. Like, it ran the high of the day, got to almost $15 and pulled back. And I missed that short. I was paying for locates, didn't get them fast enough. And then by then it had already moved down. I'm not chasing the move. So I said, okay, fine. I wasn't quick enough and I missed that trade because I didn't have the locates in advance. If I had just forced the trade, I would have just been sitting there losing for the rest of the afternoon. So I'd rather pay 1 cent per share, which I think it maybe costs like 2 cents a share or something like that. I'd rather do that, not see a trade and not make a trade, than if you pay for the locates, force the trade because you paid for it, and then lose a bunch of money. Like, that's the worst thing that you can do. It's a sunk cost. And for sunk costs, you've got to understand that it's, at the end of the day, it's a sunk cost fallacy is a real thing. So once you've paid for it, just make sure you execute based on a plan and not on that stupid fallacy.
All right, we're short Tesla. We just took it through the break of the bottom of the day. So we're short right now at 80s. Actually, I got it, like 80 was the low, and we actually got 80, so I think that was a pretty good fill. So let's just wait to see here what does happen. It only went down into the 50s, I think it did. There, how low did it go? It kind of flushed immediately. 64 was only the bottom there. You can't take, I mean, again, I know, hard to sit there and take 20 cents on Tesla. Let's just give it a little bit more room. Of course, being short Tesla and being long Microsoft, not really something that's going to work if the NASDAQ makes a dramatic move, but I'm definitely short the weaker name and long what I believe could be a stronger name through a key level. So I'm not in love with it, but I do have more shares on Microsoft than I do on Tesla. I actually have 3 times the shares on Microsoft than I do on Tesla. So just to give you a little bit of an idea there where my confidence is, but I'm not super confident in any of them, but I do hold 3x the shares in Microsoft than I am doing that in Tesla, right? So, but still a decent sized position for me in Tesla. Let's just see how far it can go down now. I just put a bid at 54. Let's try to make $1. The reason why is like, I don't really want to get out. I mean, I'm looking at this name here. I mean, I don't know. I would really like Microsoft to go. But I was going to say, like, you got to probably hold it back to here, which is 255.49 or 50s. So that gives me about 70 cents or so worth of risk on this trade. So something that we'll look at on this. We'll see if we can get it. I don't mind averaging in and around the 20s or 30s if we do pop back up to the upside. But let's play a weak name short. So we'll try that with Tesla. I am getting a little bit excited here about Microsoft. I may take some out right now if we can. Maybe take out 10%. Let's just punch. There we go. We got some out 98s right there. So we'll take some out on Microsoft. I'm not super worried about it. It's just the market. I was going to do this before Greg came, but it's like we're still under VWAP, but it doesn't look super exciting either way. The market's trying to hold on to green so Santa Claus can continue. The last day is going to be tomorrow for it, so we could still be down 0.5% today, up 1% tomorrow. But yeah, this market's falling down, so it looks like our Tesla will probably work out. It's a good thing we emptied out to clip a little bit there on Microsoft. So again, what we made there, we kind of give it back right there. So out of 20% again. So we'll hold about half of our position now on Microsoft and just see where it goes. No offers, guys, until, well, I did have an offer there at 30. I'm going to cancel that. No offers until 44, where we talked about before. So we'll wait to see if Microsoft wants to go. Please do it immediately, and then we will wait to see what happens here with Tesla. 255 and change. I feel like we could just be doing this just because. Like, I'm not. What time is it? 2:48. Okay, there's still some time left in this market. Right there, 255.50 is going to be my out on Tesla. I hope the market rips, but not just not Tesla.
Well, anybody that's interested, I'm throwing a poll up because I just saw the NASDAQ was exactly flat. I'm like, it's 250 and the NASDAQ is flat. So will the market close up? I just did it. I have to switch my account back to me, and then I'm going to vote for it. But I do want to get very quickly to Mara here. Mara bounced off 28 again. Like, this level has been a bit of a thing outside of the one break that I ended up shorting underneath. for a hit. You had the pre-market dump that bounced to 28. You had a 28 bounce here at 148. And then again, just now we bounced off off the 28 level. It's also, if you pull it back a little bit further, when in doubt, zoom out, yesterday's bottom essentially. And going back to last week on Friday, you had resistance at the 28 level. I think if this breaks underneath 28, I probably go for that short again. It's just a setup I like. There's a lot of room underneath. But the long, if you like it, it's probably right there for you. I'm going to cast my vote right about now. I'm going to vote what I want to happen. You know what, whatever. I just voted yes, go Santa Claus rally, although the Santa Claus rally doesn't hinge on today. I just did that for fun. So
the question is, where do you think it's going to go? Positive?
What do you think it's positive or negative?
Yeah, you think it's going to close positive?
I generally think positive, and the reason for it is the fact that we have not been able to break down, and that when you teeter back and forth, we've been putting in higher lows into lower highs, but when you zoom out on the NASDAQ, we did exactly the same thing yesterday and then had a late push. Right, and then we closed on the highs the day before. Like, it's generally an upward trend. Even when we've had these barcodes, we've tended to end with a little bit of a spike. So it wouldn't take much of anything. All you have to do is get to like 0.2, 0.3 by the imbalances, and you're likely to hold on to it. So it's a slight vote for the upside. I don't think I have, like, if I was really convicted in it, I'd probably be finding a bunch of longs right now. I don't know that the market's giving us that exact kind of opportunity. But when you zoom out, to me, it kind of favors that opportunity to make a little bit of a late push. Like yesterday, was a pretty good push going into the close. But Mara, I still think underneath 28, I want to short Mara. So it's at 28.15. Doesn't really have to go much further to make this bottom. It's not really a flat bottom break because it was briefly under here before, but support level could break on Mara.
We just got Rocket. We've made there 2,000 points right there. That's hilarious on Streamlabs. That's 4,000 today. I think I probably got about 3,500 or so points today, which is not the greatest. Okay.
Sympathy, man.
The Tesla just went down nicely there, actually. It just went into a pretty good level that maybe we could have got some out, bounced off 50. Come on.
Didn't work.
Let's see if it goes back down to the downside right now and see what goes on. Yeah, what's up, Ponzi Fonzie? I saw your message, man. I wasn't going to get O'Leary to message you on that one, but I have reached out. Again, just like I booked the guests for the recap show, I'm going to book Kevin O'Leary for a podcast. So that should be a lot of fun. I'll let everybody know when that goes through as well. I feel like that could be good, and then we'll really get down to the deep in that. That should be fun. But go back, man. It was about 10:50 or so today. If you go back to our morning show there, and you'll be able to see that. So, and because we're booking guests today, we have the Fibonacci Princess one more time. I'm going to ask her about a couple names moving into the close. Funny name there. Takes it off the Fibonacci Queen. She told us some story about that. I don't remember. Don't tell her that. But something about that. She'll be joining us later on tonight. And then we had, of course, Raider Trader, which was fantastic. Brian Shannon, man, it's like Murderer's Row, CMTs, everything with all great ideas. And really, really thank everybody there for supporting the recap show, because it's been something that, again, like Greg said, man, we're putting in a lot of work into this. And I just want everybody to keep supporting everything and let us know that, you like what we're doing. And I think you do. So it's good. It's good. All right, just quickly here. Microsoft is not good. We're going to stop at fail. Like, it's funny that I said, like, the only stock that I'm really significantly negative today is going to be Softy. And I mean, there it is again. And it's off the same damn trade twice. It's like, literally, I did not learn. It's like I tell my kids, don't touch the stove, it's hot, right? So there it is right there. Ooh, the stove was real nice, man. We were cooking early. And then all of a sudden, boom, to the downside. And then look what's happening to me right now again. We got out of 20% there, 20% there. Now we're holding half. Actually, one of them must have been more, but we're holding half right now of our position, and we're almost out of this again. But the thing about this is, where's my stop? I just want to make sure, okay, so it is breaking this level. I think it's worth a buy in and around here against that, because every time I'm buying, like I'm buying breaks. Well, maybe it just runs out of steam, comes back down in, and we can get some trades on here. Thing is, at the same time we took this long, we also took the short in Tesla. So the short in Tesla right now is 40 cents in the money and working out and looking to go lower. So it's okay, but I told you we had more shares in Microsoft, which is why we lightened up there, but still more shares in Microsoft than Tesla. So I would like this to get back upside. Let's see if we can't buy some 71s, basically against the 60. So I don't know, man. Feel like I am throwing good money or bad money after good here by making that great decision. Let's go.
Good money after bad.
No, but I don't have any bad money. This is good money on Tesla, and I'm losing it, giving it back on Microsoft. So I'm throwing good money after bad money.
There, yeah, that's
right there. That makes more sense. Okay, so here it comes. Here we go.
Intel went back to 50-50, by the way.
Look at this.
So right at VWAP, it went right back into 50-50, another lower high. That's where I was looking for the reload. We're able to get it on point. It just went down at 40, so we grabbed 50-50 into 40. Next bid is going to be 35, and then 30, 25, 20, all that kind of good stuff. But we are rolling back over in the futures. So all you had to do was bet that it was going to go the other way. And the market wants to go that way. I still like Moderna for a short on a pop, but you're not really getting it at all on Moderna. And Meta is cracking VWAP to the downside. That was one of the strongest names all afternoon. Sorry, okay, what the hell? On one chart, it's cracked VWAP. On this, I'm going to trust this one here where it's above VWAP. Scratch that. Meta is not cracking VWAP. One of my charts just is messed up. Meta's bouncing off of VWAP, so correction.
All right, we almost got it, but we'll do it anyways. We are really cruising, man. There it is. Like, this is what I'm saying about, like, you know, we could talk about being up or down on different names or whatever, right? But it's like, and I said, maybe the long won't work on Microsoft, but the short might work on Tesla. It's like, I still liked both ideas, and I actually liked that Microsoft break because I had done more work on it. I thought the 276 or 376 was a great level there, and it's apparently not, as we'll hold that 20 cents against ourselves. But we're 80 cents in the money, and we just took 2 outs there on Tesla. It just bounced off 54. So there it is again, right? So not scalping anything out. Like, we just took 70 cents twice. If that's a scalp, that's a scalp. But 70 cents, that puts us up here. Remember, our risk was going to be about 70 cents. So now,
makes it 1-to-1.
1-to-1 makes it fine, yeah. So right there. So nice move to the downside right there for Tesla. And then let's see what happens now, as it looks like we're going to try to break through 254. And if it does, then, I mean, I don't really have any targets. I mean, we can zoom this out. I was looking at it, and honestly, the most interesting thing to me was 252. So I guess that could be something, but hey, I'm no fool, man. I mean, you know, we got to take profit. I mean, I am a little bit, but we got to take some profit somewhere. So I'm bidding again at 253.50. So the flush is here. Yes, sir. Here it goes. Nice move down. Although Microsoft, I am going to take, maybe I'll take a little, I just offered 97 and the thing went downside there. Let's take a little bit more out on Microsoft. It's still working, not working, but it did bump up there a little bit. Let's see if we can get some more out here at 376 because Tesla's working for us. Let's see if Microsoft wants to do something similar. And if I have to take a 10-cent hit on Softy, trust me, we'll do that again. So there it is. We just take some out. So that's going to be good. I'll actually face slap that one. I'm happy. The only thing I'm not happy about is we did not get that reload. Okay, here we go, man. And this is the thing, you know, like when you're in trades and you're happy about them, that's great, right? And you guys can see like emotion. Like I get excited when this goes back up because quite frankly, someone said in the midday show, Adair's told everybody she's in sim mode, you know? So it's like, oh, you know, easy to talk when you're in sim mode, but I still speak 50,000 words a day trading live here, right? And so you guys gotta be very, very careful what you're doing. This is tough to hold this many trades. What I've been doing in November and December is really going lighter on the amount of names that we look at. Because, and what I'm getting at is the midday, they cover a lot of different names. So it's very, very difficult. The reason why I'm always talking about Affirm, AMD, Intel, Microsoft, Roblox, and Tesla right now, those are the positions that I'm in, but they're easy for me to manage because I'm familiar with these names. You know, like when Neil mentioned C4 there, like couldn't even guess what price it's at, or AD.
It came up with, there was
ADHD or whatever the other stock was.
It was kind of an inside joke. One of the days Obi was here, because I kept calling it 4C or like all these stupid names, and the actual it is C4 is the name of the company, and the ticker was 4C. So again, a lot of times, it's not that you will never trade something that you haven't been looking at, but I think you've got to be careful if you're not familiar with the way that it trades. Like if you've looked at a small cap runner, or like stocks that are underneath a million float and you have setups for those stocks, then a lot of them can be similar. But you want to stick to names you're comfortable with. There was a question in the chat about Penn. Penn with an activist investor today, it's up 6%. Obviously not a lot of things are up 6% today, but it is semi-failing a $27 breakout. which I wanted to see this thing close above 27. Look at it hold the 200 period, gorgeous. That's always good, but no chance to close above it. Well, okay, it's probably not going to close above 27 today. I shouldn't say no chance, but it's starting to roll back over. I think that's an important thing, closing above the breakout price in terms of giving you some continuation on that move. Otherwise, your key support looks like it's down at the 25 level. Activist investor good. What can come of it? I don't know. It's got a decent bump today, but it's giving it up late in the afternoon. Still no breakout yet on MAR, although it looks like it's about to through that 28 level. It's pretty darn close. It's at 04s. It's not a flat bottom break, as I said, because it's been underneath it before. But look at the wick there. Look at the wick there in the pre-market at 28. Once it's under 28, I'm going to go for that short trade as power hour is now here for us. I don't want to be over trading into new positions, but this is one I've had a good read on where I want to be short and that it has been a short. But it's about the executions as well, right? So the plan for execution on shorting pops hasn't been good. This will be the first time I'm actually taking a breakdown of a key price level.
Oh, the Dixie is green. Okay, we'll look at that. So I just took out another one there. We'll just go, we'll take another fill. Another fill. Okay, so we took out another piece there on Tesla. It just keeps on bouncing at 250. I was about to tweet this out, but I'm not going to. It just keeps on bouncing off 254. So, you know, I mean, I'm waiting for a drip into the bottom. I have canceled all my bids now. So hopefully, if it does flash in, then I'll just be able to watch the net sort of do something like this, and then we'll worry about it afterwards. So, all right. The reason why I'm trying to cancel those bids is because, well, first of all, we got out there because it's rebounding off 254. But also, like, I'd like for this one to win. We just got up to 10s again, basically where we got in, and then it failed. Look how easy this comes down, right? Again, goes up pretty easily, comes right back down easily. This is not the right kind of trading, not for me. You know, like if you're going to take a couple hundred shares there, takes them out, and then get stopped at the very bottom only to watch it go up, basically for no reason, 40 cents, and then right back down again. That's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, and it's not like it's something that I'm like, oh my God, let's just load into this trade. Right now, though, we do have another one for you. And this is one that doesn't mean a lot to me, but it means a lot because I know there's a lot of traders that took this trade with me. You know, the short 150 there on AMD, that was pretty easy once you saw this top wick. You know, that's what gave it to me. Listen to this. I was out. I went and visited my barber, gave him, he has his birthday and holidays, gave him a little gift, came back, and I immediately went into the chat and I said, I'm punching short AMD. Okay, I just looked at this wick. That's it. I saw high volume. I saw the wick at 150. I went over to Sharif. I go, I'm punching short AMD. I put it in the chat. That's why I have two fills. Because the first one was right here at 150. Then the next one was like at 150.10. Because I was starting to build a position, you know, against this. But then it just started to fall. And I was like, okay, let's start taking some out. Like, if the risk was going to be up, I mean, I wasn't even giving it. I saw that. I was probably going to give it to this top. I didn't even have a stop in yet. But anyways, once we went down 40, 50 cents, we just started taking profit. Then it came back. We took profit again. The only thing was, unfortunately, we did not reload this at 2 o'clock, which we should have, 2:20. And then here's the move down. Congratulations to everybody who's rocking with this one.
I was just about to say, it's the third 150 short today on that stock.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
it's basically given this move three times off that level. Now, there was a clean breakout as well, if you like breakout trades, and you only had to risk to 150 on AMD. Mara just broke to the downside. What's crazy about AMD and the move that it's making is NVIDIA is still just languishing at the bottom. I don't wonder if NVIDIA is not a short on this next little pop-up here. I mean, if this gets into VWAP, like it's up 0.3%, but I mean, the stock's been under VWAP all afternoon show, not all afternoon. Obviously, since noon, it's been above VWAP. But since we came back on, it's been underneath VWAP, lagging the rest of the chip names to a certain degree. NVIDIA's been a rocket ship, generally speaking, but it's really slowed down the closer it got to 500. And if it's not going to make a break, you know, late here in the day, or the market's not going to break late here in the day, I mean, then NVIDIA underneath VWAP looks like a good short the pop situation. It's hard to look at AMD on that strength and see NVIDIA not participating and not want to have a piece of it. Mara did just break. It went about, it's SSR, by the way, so when it broke, I couldn't get 95s on the way down because there was no uptick. So on the way back, it actually filled me at 95 on the way back. It went down to 85 On the way back up, I guess got filled at 95. I'll give it to about 10s. I never want to get trapped at the bottom on a breakout trade. I generally want it to work pretty quickly, so relatively tight stop. The local low is 27.55, or sorry, 56, so I want to get some out in front of that level. Mara is looking weak, but remember, Coinbase, not exactly having a bad day at all. I know it's down 0.2%, but I hate only looking at things that way. Coinbase at the open was already gapped down $8. So really, that is a $6 move from the open on Coinbase. That's a strong move to the upside. Yes, it gapped down. Yes, it's down 0.2%, but I'd say Coinbase had a great recovery day given what happened to the other crypto names. So good for them.
Slap
chop.
Yeah, now we are, Tesla's trying to go there. It just bounced off 253.70 or so. Remember, my fill was going to be at 253.50, but that wick bottom right there hit 253, what does it say as the bottom? It's wrong again. 253.60. Now it's going back upside. Okay, we'll watch out for that one. Let's just see what happens if it can make a move down. We did get some more. You might be wondering why my Microsoft price changed. It didn't change that much. But remember I told you I was getting a little tired of this back and forth nonsense. So eventually I just bought some more. Let's just wait to see. I'm still excited to be here for everybody. It's just like the market needs to move. Let's talk about something. You guys want to do some Q&A? I mean, what do you want to do? You guys can ask me anything. AMA. Right now, if you guys want. I went to the grocery store and you saw Pratt. Good. Who's walking around with Elvis. That's hilarious. Yeah, rip on that. All right, so what else you guys want to talk about? Any Q&As here? What's up, Patrick Langlois just spun there. Why is Tesla so off compared to other names? All right. I don't really know what happened with Tesla today, to be honest with you. I mean, Tesla really started to work. I'm only short because I just got fed up watching this thing go, and eventually it was like, okay, we got that move down there. If we were going to break that bottom, I know people were short or long this, not this guy. We waited for this move, and now we're out of 60% of it. But why is Tesla weak? Okay, so the story that we had on our watch list, I stayed away from it today, but here we go. I'll call this up for you right now and have a quick little look to see why. So here it is right now. We had it on here. Tesla was up in the pre-market, so that's kind of strange. Like when I read this is why it's actually not on the sticky note today. So Xiaomi here unveiled its first electric vehicle. I say, who cares? But I don't know. That's why I don't think this is what's sparking any of this. But anyways, just more competition. And I don't know, if there's more competition in China, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing for Tesla. But, you see the way that Tesla started the day? It was like, fine. It had to move up, and then it moved down, and then it kind of based out at 63. And this is when we were like, oh, man, like I remember that 63. It goes back into yesterday's high. And we said any pullbacks into that level might be something. And then we were like, any pullbacks into 260, that's even better. And that was better. That was good, man. There's the bottom. That bottom is 259.70, or 259.80, and that gave you a move all the way back to 261.80. So that 260 was a great long. That gave you $2. And then all of a sudden, at about 11 o'clock, this is why I'm not convinced on whatever the story we think it is. All of a sudden at 11 o'clock, it really started to bleed, and then finally caught a bid at 258, but that only went another $1.50. And then from there, it is straight downside. When I see something like this, and we sat here and we said, it's going to be hard to catch this falling knife, and it was. It's, trading like that. And you guys have seen me. Remember I said we had a banger November and now December. And the thing is like what we're doing is not averaging it into losing trades. It's one thing to do this, which right now Microsoft's in the money, where I go long the same price I liked twice. Like that's fine. And we got out of this for a $1.50 hit. That kind of sucks, but off the jump, we've had those winners before, so it's okay. But that's different in my opinion. Going back to the well, it's like, for example, and I'm only going to use Neil as an example because he's right here and he went long. You don't see Neil just, and I've done this before and so has he. You go long there, it drops down, you go long again, and then you go long, and you keep going long. Like you keep fighting it, trying to get something.
If it was at 55,
right.
I probably would have taken three. Like at the 55 level, And only because we're talking about this one right now on Tesla. My chart's not much better because I have this wick. I keep trying to get rid of it. But I went long once. It went 1-to-1, and then I moved my stop up to 55. I know it's hard to tell the scaling because of that, but that's about a 50-cent range in there. And at the end of the day, if it had wicked this bottom and then regained 255, I might take the same trade with the same tight risk a second time, a third time, looking for that push back up. But not necessarily like over and over and over again to the, so that, and like Sean said, that's where you generally get into trouble. Like it gets to a level, you take your shot, does it work, does it not? And then you move on to the next trade. That's the deal. And for traders, that's how you got to roll. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like I went to Mara multiple times at the same level. Now, ultimately, like shorting here at 29.30 was profitable, but like I'll slap a fail on this all day, every day. Like it's profitable to have scalped this into VWAP as many times as I did, but it's a fail to get stopped out and not find a way back into it until I'm now shorting the 28 low. So you can look at something like that and say, okay, well, whether you're up on it or not is not how I'm ever going to judge something like this. Like, did I make a good decision? Yes or no? And if I deem that I made a poor decision either to get out or not to get back in, I don't think it was a poor decision to get out. I think it was a poor decision not to get back in. Then I will slap a fail on it and then move on to the next. And then I try not to judge results. It's like, I use the analogy for poker. I mean, if you YOLO some ridiculous, I don't know, like 4-8 offsuit and end up getting like a gut shot that you then keep calling down, then you catch something on the river. Just because you won doesn't mean you ended up making a good decision there. All it means is that the outcome was good, and if you had a 1 in 15 chance, it might hit sometimes. That does not mean the decision making was necessarily good. I always think in those terms of trading, and the book that I got that from was Annie Duke's Thinking in Bets. And it's not a trading book, but it's the one I read every couple of years just to maintain that mindset. So Mara in here, it did just break down. I saw a big buyer. You saw me move my bid from about 65 right here to 76 because there was a big buyer at 73. So big buyer at 73 on level 2. I can quickly show that to you. I don't know why this doesn't auto change, but it'll probably still be here. So I saw this step up at 73, so quickly joined the level here at 76, got the fill. And again, it doesn't mean it's going to bounce off that level. If I'm looking to take profit in front of that low, well, that buyer is giving me a reason to go ahead and do that. So Mara's starting to work into the downside. Intel's been working, so it's okay. Tisha in the chat saying TTOO is moving. Okay. Why not? Noah, the name of the book is Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. So Annie Duke is a public speaker. She does like motivating stuff as well, but she's a professional poker player. If you're familiar with poker, then you probably know her name. And I was put onto the book by a good friend of mine who's an executive at one of the major banks here. And he listened to her speak and was like, "Do you know who this is?" I'm like, "Oh my goodness, she's a great poker player. I've seen her at the World Series, like watching on TV like everybody else." And he's like, "Yeah, you probably will really like this book." And so I read it, and I now read it every couple of years. It's fantastic. And the whole premise is, if you're trying to get better at making decisions that are risk-based decisions that are probabilistic, then you can't be resulting. If you're resulting and focused on the results, then what happens is, if something that was a low probability ends up hitting a couple of times, like if it's 1 in 10, every once in a while it's going to hit 3 times in a row, you can sit there thinking it was a good thing to do it. But if it was a low probability event, you should not be judging based on that. So you make decisions based on what the overall probability should be. So I care about R&R and something like that for consistency. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Like I said, it's been frustrating because I've had a lot of good ideas that I haven't had work out perfectly, especially something like Intel today. Like I was shorting Intel in all the wrong places until like this last entry when I got stopped there. I kept shorting it off of non-key levels, and I wasn't really patiently waiting for it to get back to the key level or giving it a proper stop and jumping back in until that wick there. I said, this is ridiculous. On that same wick, I got right back in at 52, and then on that pop, I waited for it to get to 50. Waited, and then got the short off the 50 level. That's generally the key. Allow it to get to that price. When it does that wick of the high, that's generally a good entry point. Sometimes you get right back in on the wick. That's what happened here. And it now works down into the low of the day. So it's just about sort of finding those opportunities out there for you and what works best for you. AMD now cracking through VWAP, so I think the shorts are certainly starting to accelerate here and really work. I'm going to add one in because Rivian just did this. Rivian just, oh my goodness. Okay, so Rivian just did a huge flush into the downside. We're now 0.1 to the downside on the NASDAQ. So we look for the shorts. The shorts just worked out, and I want to find a way to short a pop here on Rivian. I'm looking at the opening range bottom here at 23.75. So when this probably bounces off the low of the day, I want to see if I can pick something up off that low. We have about 45 minutes to go, 15 until we get the early look imbalances, and I expect them to be a nothing burger, but that doesn't mean the market will be a nothing burger.
So if you don't have $1, then you have $2 club, and there goes Tesla all the way to the bottom. Sorry, I took a minute there. I went and got a coffee, and I saw Steph, and I was like, you want a coffee? So we got that, and now we're all coffeeed up there. But look what's, ooh, man, what needs to wake up is Tesla, but that's a $2 winner right there. Look, like, this is why you honestly, where's my girl? There she is.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
I mean, are you not entertained? I mean, this was 255 short there on Tesla. Gave it to you as before it was even happening. You know, I told you if we break that bottom, we're going short on Tesla, and we did pretty darn good. We got out of 60%. We'll take another 20% right there for another $2 winner right there. AMD, of course, and I know you're in this. Patrick, shout out to Dan, shout out to everybody there. Let's hit the siren because we're going, man. Here it goes. It's advanced micro devices. See you later, alligator to the downside there. Hey, what happened? How come, did that get cut off there? How doesn't that go longer? No, that's it. Okay. Look at that. Affirm, just trying to wake people up. Look at this. Affirm, 50-70 all the way to the downside right now. I feel like this, it could be something. I'm going to actually cancel my Amazon right now because honestly, guys, like, all right, we just took a 66 there. Oh, we got two fills. Oh, no. I actually had a bid down there on Affirm. Dope. Okay. More outs there on Affirm. I am going to go over and cancel my Amazon bid. And we just got out some more Microsoft. I'll talk about that in a second, as I hope it didn't go too high up and the coffee didn't cost me too much. But there we go. We were going to bust this long on Amazon. It just turns out that it was a crazy short. So that sucks because we would have been really dancing right here. And if you are short on Amazon, it's just bouncing off VWAP right now. So again, watch out for that one coming back in again. And then here's, okay, so how high did Softy go? All right, we actually did pretty good. So we actually wind up getting out there at Softy at 05. So the highest it went was good, only 15s. So I don't feel so bad about it. Let's see if this one wants to work. So again, on Tesla, we only have 20% left, but it just basically saved the afternoon for me right there on that play. So Intel, we're in the money on everything right now. While Roblox actually is trying to drip down. We don't have too many shares of that.
You're still in Roblox? Where is that right now?
It's nothing. It's 46.50. Like, I don't know, man. It's not, like,
well, I'm only curious.
It's been doing nothing forever.
The close on Roblox today, I think could be, I mean, technically speaking, it's interesting if it can close above 40. If it can hold 46, it's still looking really,
I think
really
it's
good.
Holding 40. You know, I'm just going to buy some more now.
Yeah, like it's just sort of looking at the daily chart on this one.
Like
that,
bottom.
Like that is not much of a pullback here. There's some names that have given some back. Like you saw Mara and these big runners up. So when something does a consolidation or a pullback day and it's really, really light, sometimes it tells you something about the strength of the stock. So I still, think Roblox has some strength in it. I was kind of expecting with the market breaking the lows that when you said Roblox, in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's probably breaking 46.
Yeah, me too.
Again, I'm glad it isn't. But someone said who's shorting NVIDIA? It's not at VWAP. No.
No. We're shorting AMD. Well, I'm shorting AMD. Well, I'm not shorting anymore. Oh, it's 320. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Steve G. Yeah, you know what? Not rocket science with this take here. He thinks Elon would be great on the podcast. Yeah, so do I.
Elon?
I think
he's probably all right.
Yeah, we'll do the podcast. I'll reach out. Be interesting to hear his take on what EV stocks will do. Yep. I'd like to get his take on that, and also like to get his take on competition. I'm sure he's going to be very, very honest with it and give you everything he thinks about it. And then I'm going to ask him about Dogecoin and Shiba Inus and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to ask him about all of his kids and everything. So hopefully he can come on. But here we go. So we just bought. Sometimes I feel like just when things are working, man, they're working. Like we just talked about right there, buying some Roblox off that bottom. So whether or not it's the bottom or not, we just bought some 48s, I believe was my fill. It's not that it's working that great. Just starting to drift up a little bit right now. Good out for us on Tesla. We'll spin that. That was really good. Yeah, like we had that, the compound. I listened to that every once in a while. So I was thinking about asking, there's a guy on there named Steve Batnick, and then there's Josh Brown, and JC Peretz has been on that show a couple of times. He's been on the recap show as well. So I feel like, you know, these guests and everything, you know, Neil's going to be on. We're all going to be on the podcast. It's going to be a great time. This is just something that we're building. Right, we're trying to build community.
There's
Neil's
a couple
coming.
pro athletes I want to get on.
Yes, man, let's go.
I want to get PK on there.
Oh, yes, exactly. So that's what I mean. So we have Neil has a couple hookups as well. We're going to try to get a few more people. And the thing is, it doesn't just have to be. This is why the podcast is what we're trying to do. Is that it doesn't have to be stock related. I mean,
I'd love to have a contest to have one of the viewers on. Just something.
Yeah. Josh Brown would be great. Yeah. There's lots of stuff. Taylor Swift. Yeah. Let me call Taylor Swift real quick.
2024, we should make a resolution.
You got excited there, Dara. You thought I had a number.
Trader TV Live has to have a meetup in 2024. I'm just throwing it out there. We've said it a million times. We got to do a meetup at some point. 2024 should be the year. That's New Year's resolution. We'll figure something out. Ideally, you know, personally, I think it should be in Vegas, but we've been overruled on that about 17 million times. So even if it has to be something in Toronto where we are, I just think we got to do it. Like we had Daniel Westermeyer, one of our viewers, was here visiting, and it's great to put faces to some of the names of the regulars in the chat. Dan McIsaac agrees on Vegas. I only say Vegas because I'm a trader and I've never been to Vegas.
We can easily do Vegas. The only problem is it just can't be all of us because we have to do the show.
That's sort of the.
But you know what? We can do
we can get creative.
You know what? Forget about this.
No, it's doable. Of course it's doable. You leave on Friday night.
So then let's organize it.
It's a matter of finding. We have to figure out the best time for everybody, and then Brendan will tell us why we shouldn't do it whenever we want. I just want to make sure the weather.
So I don't know about you, but like, you just do it. Like Brendan's.
We've said this every single time we bring up a meeting. It's like, oh, ho hum, this, that. But it has to be organized with the viewers to make sure it's a good time.
You would let everybody know.
Like that's the idea. Like it's not like, hey, we're going to Vegas and then no one shows up. Like that's not the idea, man. But just when you thought the market was going to close red, what were we, like 0.25 to the downside? We're 0.25% to the downside, and then you get this 320 bounce. And I'm only saying that because, may he rest in peace, it was a trader on our floor like years and years ago, a friend of ours, at 320, he's like, there's a buyer in the market on GE at 320. And we'd always talk about the 320 bounce. It's not really a thing, but the market's trying to get back higher. I think this can be a fade opportunity for some names, but I also think it can be a chance to I'm sitting in a long that I just got in ARM because when the market went down, it did nothing. I had a long in ARM and a tight little stop out. I just feel like if this name in the market goes again, it could retest the high of the day. If you didn't fall when the market was falling and you're up 5%, then I want to give you a shot. And the overall trend's been fantastic. So if I can risk 20 cents on ARM here to try and get it to break toward the high of the day, the high is 50 cents from here on ARM. Rocket ship to the upside. I don't know if we get a reload in Intel, unfortunately, but it is close to VWAP in that 50-50 level. So I do like the reload at 50-50 on Intel. As I say that, there's ARM. Did I just not put a 20-cent stop in there? I just set a 20-cent stop, and then I put a 10-cent stop.
Oh man, I hate those keystrokes happen all the time.
I do that all the time.
You know what? Another great opportunity. I mean, honestly, guys, like Miami, I was there. That was fun. That we could do it there.
So
Chicago,
Miami.
Chicago was another awesome opportunity there.
Frank,
I think that would be great. Yeah, we'd be able to hook up with
that's
Frank.
Not bad.
Mr.
The
Frank
CME's there.
Caberna.
Chicago's a good idea. Some deep dish.
Oh, that went to 60.
Uno.
Roblox. Yeah, we'll be eating lots of food no matter where we go. That's for sure. There goes Okay, by the way.
I love people.
Hopefully Roblox can go back up to the upside. I can't believe I missed that 60 fill. I mean, I should just take a dime. I mean, we bought the bottom, it went up. I mean, the market isn't necessarily healthy right now, although it's not too bad. Microsoft's trying to go, Intel's trying to go. There was one thing I wanted to talk about now, I forget what it was. Oh yeah, it was just that it's a good thing that we hurried up with that coffee there, Steph, because Tesla did bounce off that 253 and now right back up to 254 again, and now making those moves back and forth. This is what I want to talk about. I just tweeted this. So part of the recap show, and again, thank you everybody for continuing to support that after 4 o'clock, but check this out. We talked about it earlier. People wanted to know what was in Bill Gates' portfolio. So can you guys still see? I mean, hold on a second. Control plus. This is what. See, it's not working, Ramin. What's wrong? What do you mean? It's not working. I just did it. Okay, I'm gonna have to go. Oh no! What happened? With your computer? Nothing's wrong with it. I just have no idea how to use it. Okay, so right here, hit that OK Boomer thing. But I mean, Bill Gates. These are boomers. Okay, so. Someone said, Savvy Trader said, what do I think of Bill Gates' stock portfolio? Not what do I, this is what they tweeted out. I posted a reply, too many names. Like, I don't know, how do I look at all these? This looks like my damn portfolio.
But like, you don't know the percentages?
It shows the percentages,
Where?
but underneath, you see, you can't see. This is why you guys got to go to Twitter right here. See, it says booking 0.0.
Okay,
Yeah, so FedEx 1%, Caterpillar 4. It goes this way, left to right.
That's a weird
So it's going this way. So the highest, so let's just look at this right now. So the highest holding is, this is what I'm trying to zoom in, guys. Like, I cannot, I'm trying to click on it, like, I'm trying to zoom. Oh! We just had, ouch.
I think that's
ouch. Ouch, 200, it's not working, okay. Anyways, let's just go this way. It's Microsoft and it's Berkby, come on, bro. CNI, okay, so CN Rail, that's good there. And then Waste Management, Caterpillar, Deere. So just basically a lot of like run-of-the-mill names, nothing too exciting. No surprise that Microsoft still from time. I wonder where he owns those shares. Try $0.
What's interesting is I always expect someone in that ilk to have some like shot, like this is like a future type of play.
He probably does. I mean, think he has Carvana in there.
But like they're so low percentage. Like you don't have anything that's a decent percentage, which is like your shot play. Not shot play, but you just think a big bet on something which is not established.
Wasn't Bill Gates the guy that released COVID or something like that? Wasn't there some controversy about that? Bill Gates was the one who started COVID. Smart guy.
Wasn't it George Soros?
I think it was both of them. Maybe
both together at the Bilderberg.
But it definitely wasn't in Wuhan, for sure. All right, that is Microsoft, and I wish you know where I first started buying my Microsoft shares? I remember it was $30. Like unbelievable. That stock straight upside, man. I love that name.
Only name from.
I remember selling it when it went to like 50. I was like, Yahoo!
In the .com era, it was the only NASDAQ top 10 market cap name that was 20 years later still a market cap top 10. Like it doesn't generally happen, and it happened in this case for Microsoft, and they'll probably be able to do it again for the next 10 to 20 years.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, generally speaking, if you're in that top 10, 20 years from now, a few of those names ain't gonna be there. That's just how it works historically. Usually it's the majority of them aren't there.
Is our stream still working because of what I said about Bill Gates? Okay, good. It's still working? Good. Okay, good.
That's not in, whatever, man. People say
well, I have to say something about, Sundar Pichai and all those guys from Google and YouTube and all that, and then maybe we'll get it all shut off, but I'm not gonna do
exactly.
that.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Screw you, Microsoft.
Say whatever you want about. Well,
although I love Microsoft, I don't want that stock to go down. That is literally one of my biggest holdings. You know what stock that I lost on it today. So hey, it's me. But again, Disney. Like look at this. So you want to talk about? I mean, we weren't losing early. We were long, which was good, and then we went in and out there. I feel like that was a keystroke error. I don't even know what happened there. And then we were starting to go short, and then top tick, baby. Yeah, we cooking on that one, right? But anyways, that was short at 40, out at 55s. So it's not a huge loss. But Disney is a name that a lot of people are trying to predict, for moves coming through. And I did see, we already talked about that. Go over to my Twitter and you can add whatever you guys want. This name's been pretty disappointing, man. I mean, in this wicked move up in the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, as the S&P 500 gets pretty close to touching all-time highs, the NASDAQ does break all-time highs. Disney this month is like, nope. They went from 96 down to $90. So we actually got back to like flat in and around here, $96. Because you guys remember, we were buying in here when it dipped down and we thought we sort of saw a bottom. And then it went back down to the downside. And then we bought in and around here, 85, 86 again, giving us the average price of around, I'll have to look. It's about 90. The problem is I bought it in Canada on the CDR, so I don't know the exact price, but I looked at my account, and when we were up here, it was about flat. So I feel like I'm long 94, 95 on Disney, but the market keeps on going to the downside. This has been my most disappointing name of the month. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, we just have a small cap here regaining some traction. MBOT, Microbot Medical. This one was initially trading higher today after the company announced the completion of its GLP pivotal preclinical study. So keep an eye on MBOT, continuing to rise to the high side, up 60%, guys.
I said Boeing under my breath for a disappointing stock, but just in the general sense that, you know, when at the moment that I thought Boeing was breaking out, it then made the pullback. And when I was complaining about it the most, it then made its rocket ship to the upside. You heard Kevin. It's been a very frustrating stock to own. When I said it's been frustrating, I didn't necessarily mean recently. I can't complain about it. I've sold most of my Disney shares. It's not to say that I gave up on the stock, but I sold like 80% when it got into the mid-90s. I was actually going to wait for 100, like closer to 100, but then when it started rolling over, I'm like, it got to like 96 or 96 and a half and started coming back in. I'm like, what am I talking about here? If I don't really want to be in this thing, then why?
Yeah,
like, you know, why am I waiting for an arbitrary price? I'm going to get out at 99. No, I didn't want to be in it anymore, so I just sold it. And which probably means Disney's going to be at $140 by this time next year. Maybe. I don't know. ARM just came out, so I gave it a little bit extra, and it took a little bit extra there. Whoops, wrong direction. Took a little bit extra out underneath that 77.60. So I guess maybe VWAP could be a thing, but it's 3:30, so we're probably running out of time for something like that. I jumped into Rivian off this lower consolidation, just looking to be in the short 265 and holding on to and adding to Intel just now on a curl into VWAP. So Intel bounced, reshorted it here at 45. If it breaks 50, still going to get out. Nunya Biz, who can afford to go? Oh, sorry. It was Young Family. PayPal is a better hold compared to Disney. I mean, maybe they're just
Probably.
Well, I was going to say that's a bit weird because they're not exactly related names. Like if you had said Netflix is a better hold than comparative to Disney, I don't know why we're comparing. I don't know why you'd compare PayPal to Disney. It's a weird comparison. I would probably agree with that, but I don't know how we're making that comparison. Square to PayPal? Sure. Yeah, I'll take Square.
I don't know. Well, you know, Disney's in. I don't know. I'm going to wait for Disney a little bit more, but we'll wait to see it. I mean, look, you know, meanwhile, Roblox. I mean, 25 cents. I mean, if someone gave you a 25-cent trade, would you take it right now? Well, it's a chicken dinner winner, so we'll put it on the board. And then we just did right now also buy Microsoft at that bottom again. So, like, we're feeling kind of. Remember we said that, hey, would we be able to win on Microsoft and on Tesla? We done it. We done did it right there. And I know that it does take a little bit of experience and stuff like that to be able to trust and to hold on to these positions. And I know it's a lot different for people at home to trade than us, but there goes Tesla. We only have 20% left, and we definitely, I mean, when we make $2 on a trade, and then, you know, the trade that we're worried about is Microsoft, and it's doing this, you know, we're going to be just fine. I do wish we had the upsized position on Tesla rather than this dog, but we don't. I shouldn't say anything too bad about it because we just talked about Bill Gates. But there's Roblox, nice move up. AMD, look, it's making that move. I'm very, very close to punching out. I mean, if we get a rally into the close, which I would prefer because Microsoft, then yeah, AMD is not something we want to be in. 194.15, we're very, very close. I'm going to cancel it, our stop, and just put this in right now. Sorry, 194. I wish. 149.21 because we're pretty close right now. Let's stop that out, and we'll take about $1. Well, we'll take 80 cents. We've given up that last 20 cents right now as well. Elon must be selling some Tesla. I apologize did we miss any super chats, by the way? Bears vs. Bulls, let me know, because I feel like some might have flown by there and I don't want to ignore them. So if you do have them written down, Bears vs. Bulls, please let me know. It's 3:30. We should be able to go over some. He's quiet today. I don't know. I think I might have muted Elon on X. I don't know.
I didn't mute him.
I just don't see him that much anymore.
He did a bunch. Oh, that was all yesterday.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I guess he is quiet today. But I don't know if he's going to sell, because a lot of the selling had to do with, like, there were some legitimate costs that he needed to get back. Like, it means you talk about, like, the Twitter and raising money. So, like, that gave you an obvious reason why he was doing it. But it could be true. He did say he wasn't going to be doing any more this year. So it would be hilarious if he then sold, like, right before the end of the year if he did do that. Sometimes it's the case, and usually you'll find out within a couple of days. Like, we'll know about it when it's really heavy selling. And 5% is usually that litmus when it does that kind of a pullback, not necessarily from the previous close, but easily on the day. I want to show you why I just got in and out of Meta. Meta did a hammer candle, and then this is hard to see, right into this wick bottom, right into the wick low, and then regained the 59 level. So I was shooting, oh my goodness, if it's going to have one of those late day, yesterday we had a late day rally, which I still want to be looking for at 350 if it can. I look for the reclaim of 395, 359, and then stop out just underneath the local bottom. So it's this wick here is 358.90. So went long above 59 with a stop there looking for a move into that high. So if I zoom back in, it's a little bit easier to see. So I use the previous local bottom. When it recovers it on the wick, go for the long and give it there. Don't hold it to the low of the day in that situation. At least I wouldn't hold it to the low of the day in that situation. I'm always holding it to a higher low so I can have a tight stop. I'd rather risk here on a stop like that, like 30, 40 cents, if I think the move's $1, than try to hold it $1 when I don't think it's going to break VWAP in there. Like, I was looking for a VWAP retrace there. But Meta is really bleeding. I was looking for the rubber band play. At 330, this went from a rocket ship to now testing the low of the day. This is one of the strongest stocks in the afternoon. Like, during the midday show, all I was hearing about was how strong Meta was from Sharif and people in the chat. It was
I'm gonna go long.
Meta, 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 Meta. I still think there could be a bounce. Yesterday's close was at 357.83. So if it gets to 58, I like the bounce there as well.
All right. Oopsies. Ooh. I just went long. 358. Oh, man, I mean, it is trying to bleed in a little bit here. That bottom wick on a 3-minute chart from this morning, where are we here on Meta? I was looking at it like, take a position here as we fall back into the day, and I was looking at the futures, and they still seem to be okay. Although Tesla's coming back down in, Microsoft's still kind of holding out okay right now.
Shout out to you, Ben. Appreciate you.
Yo, Ben Reggiano, what's up? We will get to that. Well, actually, there's no note. Here, I'll just show it. Thank you so much, Ben, right there. Thank you so much for that, Ben. It means a lot. You've been here for a while. So, Stan, I do. Thank you. Here's another $5. Kind of the end of the year. Thank you. Trading tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be here. Neil won't be. I'll be here with Obi. Looking forward to watching many more years to come. Well, thank you so much, Stan, and everybody. I know Tisha had one on Sidhu, so we can have a quick look at that as well. And thanks, Bears versus Bulls, for that. Okay. All right. So here we go.
Here we go.
Nice downside move again. 358, like one more shot down there at that downside wick. You know, if we get it, we get it. And if not, then that's it, right? 358 breaking. We will take the shot on that just in case you guys were wondering. I'm not reloading Microsoft. It just dipped down. We could have reloaded it. Let's see it go upside now on MSFT. Roblox, we're already out of it, but now I got bigger fish to fry with Meta. So thanks again for bringing that up. I just still got to go over there and set up the afternoon show, the recap show. But here we go. We are long. Can't have to stop saying that. Stupid Sharif, I hate you so much. But all right, 358.80. Where did we just get filled? Here we go. We just got filled on something. AMD.
Now you're just gonna milk.
Oh, that's what it was. I'm not going to say that anymore. AMD, we just got out. So whether or not it's a fail or not, it's a banger trade. Even if it goes down from now, that was a good out for us, about 80 cents there on AMD off the 150. And now we will wait to see if we can get Meta going up to the upside. And it looks like Softy just recovered itself a little bit. Let's put some O's out there and see if we can get a fill. We did not actually get a fill there. There it goes. We get an O's, so that's going to be good. Let's see what happens now with Meta. I've got my eyes on you, dog. We're going to watch out for 358 break.
Here we go. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, hopefully we don't go anywhere.
No, we're not going to say that. But we will. I will mention Sidhu and just give a little talk about it because Tisha, sorry for that. Sometimes the super chats flow through. You know how it gets around here. We're never intending to miss it. For the commentary on this name, it's worth. You always got to look at the key levels. They're kind of like bag holding levels for people that have traded a while back. So you go back to last year, and when this was breaking out, this is 1225. When this was breaking out, you can see what happened when it pulled back in. So that 1225 bag hold level, that was the reversal on all those halts to the upside. It was then support in the afternoon when it got to the $15 level. There's your 1225 support. Once it broke down, it gets a little bit bearish under here. I'm telling you, like, sometimes I should have maybe even been looking at this. That's a tricky short to put on, but you know that's the key price level at that 1225. It's not a coincidence that it turns around there. So it's trend down since there. A close above that price would be a little bit more bullish. Buying above that price. Otherwise, I think you look back to where it calmed down, like $8, $9 on next. Okay, I said next week, but tomorrow, you know what I mean when I say that. Those can be key levels to come back in, and there really isn't that much until you get to about 750 on the daily chart that's going to hold up for maybe a dip buy zone, and that 750 was the absolute bottom today. So those are your key levels. I think the 750, the even dollar at 9. And then that 1225, a close above there, I still think is incredibly bullish. TTOO was the other one that you asked about. T2 Biosystems. This was on even an afternoon tear that just pulled back in. And the cool thing about this is we've seen this pattern before. A lot of these reverse split runners have made it back to the high before. So I feel this probably has a chance to go. So if it's going to stair step it up, a hold of 650. I don't know, maybe the 750, more like the 650 level, gives it a chance to make a really big parabolic breakout. These are all just low float because it reverse split. Then when they go squeezing, there's not a lot of liquidity, and you're just looking for the big breakout. I think that move needs to be through 10 and then through $12. So that's definitely a tomorrow or next week kind of thing. Not all of these get to that top, so when you get it at the bottom, I think you take profit. Hold on to something for the dream, but no one ever went broke taking profit. If you get this at $5, pay yourself when it gets to 7 or 8. Even if you think it squeezes through 10 and 12, you can hold something through those prices. It's just difficult to hold the whole bag because then you end up holding the bag on the way back.
Yeah, what's up, Nick Dub? Sorry if we did. I mean, we're just getting to all the super chats. Shout out to Bears vs. Bulls. Thanks for doing that. And he actually showed me I can do something here. Watch this. No, you can go like this, and then you can go fan funding.
Fan funding, yeah.
I didn't know that, so they're all right here. So, all right, let me make sure you're not lying to me, Nick Dub. There it is, just playing around. I just learned about this. $5 super chat for Shopify. So, again, I've already, we'll go to live chat. Did that work? Oops. Oh, I think I froze it. Okay, it's back. Well, NASDAQ, I said yes. So, okay, we'll close this quickly. All right, so put this back up here. We're always trying to check the chat to make sure that we get everything. Soon, Ramin. Okay, so you do get a nice move upside here. I sold, remember guys, I sold some Shopify right here. So, again, we don't have the split. That's the one thing about these charts. All right, so, well, that's the one thing. Yeah, a couple things. All right, so there's 70. So we got, I think we got out like 60, like in and around 68. I'll double check again. It was Shopify's Toronto name, so I held it in that account. But either way, $67, $68. Shopify continued to make moves higher, right? So I've missed out on that 15% plus move now to the upside. You want to look about where to get back in. So look, I think this is what I think. I think there's a flush coming, and I think it's going to happen middle January, maybe late January into February, just when people start to get a little exhausted from buying stocks in the new year. I feel like we could flush down. But if you're looking to get into Shopify, I would just say this breaking level looks great to me, like $70, $71. That's only, again, 15% down. I'd like to probably get some more shares. I'm really surprised at how well it's working. I showed you guys that restaurant that the wife and I went to last week when we went out just for whatever lunch, and they had a really cool Shopify pay thing where you just scan it, similar to the Square, but it was really super cool. It was like maybe half the size of this Packy Chip Challenge thing here. It was just like really small, and you just tapped it, and the guy could carry it around in his.
Where the hell did that come from?
I just kept it here.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah. So I think that that's something that could not revolutionize. It's already out, right? The tap and go and the interact and all that. It's just I do like Shopify. I do think there's a good potential for something there on a pullback. I think you're going to be looking probably there at the right name. So good look there, Nick Dub. I'd like to buy it back to $70. Adara brought us the imbalance. You probably mentioned it, but I sort of glanced over it. 190 to buy, so it doesn't seem like it's a very big number. What's up to AI there? What's the preview for tomorrow? Big green or red day? No.
Neither.
No, neither, I would say.
Neither, not well. I would say neither. You say neither.
Yeah, I think neither is Adara would know. Neither
Whatever
or
I
neither
say is wrong.
Please go over to Adara immediately and ask her what's proper here. Neither or neither?
Where there is a particular OIM. Okay. As far as I'm aware, that is one where you can kind of go either way, like scenario. Much like regardless or irregardless, there's ones that people prefer, but they're both correct.
The answer is neither, because she said either one.
I know.
Instead of either one.
It's so true.
So that was good. Not done on purpose, I imagine, but that was good.
But what's the scenario is the real question.
Oh, Ramin. Well, what do you think, Ramin? I don't know. Ramin's Nutella.
Nutella.
It's not Nutella.
Not Nutella.
I'll walk out of here if people start talking about that.
Although I was corrected on that the aluminium thing, because
oh yeah, well Brad was right there because it was an English thing.
Yeah,
aluminium.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Instead of aluminum.
I keep hearing it now.
You do sound absolutely ridiculous when you say it, but
that
is what it is. And oh my God, let's go, man. The printing, the cash machine is in the building right now. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Nah, Meta's not moving that much, but there it is. A nice little move on that one. Bang, a quick little 40 cents there on Meta. Let's see if it continues to go higher. 30 cents, I mean. Let's see if it goes there. Microsoft is the one that's really jamming.
NASDAQ
He's on fire. All right, back over to the bridge with Brendan, I think, or somebody.
Yeah, brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Look at Microsoft, Meta's trying to go now as well. Tesla's trying to go, and everything trying to go. So, yeah, man, we're making it. We're making some bank right now in this afternoon. It's been a great afternoon. I hope everyone likes it. Nutella. That's funny. I don't know.
I'd never even heard that till today.
The thing is, this is the thing. It's one thing if you are Italian, because, especially grandmothers. I mean, my grandmother called McDonald's Macamadan. Macamadan. Like, that makes no sense. It's just in her broken down English.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, that's different. Rest her soul. I thought it was hilarious when she would call it that.
Like my family talks them when they get to patois, like some of the words.
Right.
Like I'll be sitting around the kitchen table. Like I can't speak it, but I can understand it. And that's a totally different story from saying things like, like Nutella is Nutella, man. Like
it could go either way. I have no idea.
I've never heard it. Like usually I've heard both sides, right? Like I've heard people say either or either, right? Tomato, tomato. Like I know all of those ones, and it's all good. Pecan. See, now all of a sudden Ramin's just saying all pecan or pecan. I say pecan, but I think you can go either. I think you can go either way on that one.
Caramel. I don't say caramel.
I say caramel though. See, again, but I think that's one everybody knows. People will say it in both ways. The Nutella thing.
About or a boot?
We don't speak that way. We don't say a boot.
A boot that. Okay, how about this one? This is an English one. Is it a roof or is it a roof?
Roof.
What are we even doing? Roblox nicely done, cooking up to the upside here. Microsoft is trying to go. We got a good out there, man. We got an out at 25s. No, sorry, 25s right there on the upside as we'll wait for it to continue to go. Meta, do you say Meta or Meta? Meta right now going back up to the upside here as we continue. Hopefully we'll be able to get another fill up there at 59. We spun the register there for 30 cents. I thought it was going to go, but it just came right back into the low of the day again. I'm bidding 11s there near 358. This name might not hold out for us. That's going to be Meta. As this market again just goes up, what goes up apparently must come right back down again. I was sort of thinking that we could rush to VWAP there, but it doesn't look like that's happening. Make sure you do join me. I just tweeted out. We are actually going to be live on X. We had a record number of X viewers yesterday as well for the recap show, and it's really starting to take off. So join me tonight at 4 o'clock immediately after the stream, and we'll go over some ETFs. We'll go over the market sectors. We'll get some Sean tweets going through there. Tesla or Tesla?
There's
so many different things
on this show.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was said way too many times on this show. Josh says we totally do say a boot. Okay.
Who does though?
No, us. Look, it's a Canadian.
Oh,
accent,
so Canadians have hearing problems.
Look,
I've never heard anybody say a boot.
But I feel like.
What do you mean? It's not an accent thing.
No, but I go to Florida like all the time. Like and I speak to a lot of Americans. I've never heard anybody while talking to me say that we do that. When I ask them about, they're like, no, I don't really hear that.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a.
Yeah, I don't think we do that one.
Not a wives' tale, but it's just like one of those things that people think you say.
Yeah.
It's like they think like, oh, you come up to Canada, it's igloo time, right? It's plus 10 degrees or something today.
We're further north than the coldest places in the U.S.
Yeah, if you build an igloo now, you can melt that quick.
Like
down.
It's colder. Like Wisconsin, like out in Wisconsin,
we haven't even had
it gets
snow
colder
yet.
than here. We had like a little bit of like a one day we had a little bit of snow.
We had a little bit of
couple
snow.
weeks ago.
It was like,
and we're not even getting
nothing.
snow. Actually, I think we're getting snow over the weekend, but I don't think we're getting snow until the new year. I think we're supposed to get a little bit on Sunday. Although, is that
Sunday?
I guess that's New Year's Eve, so we're getting some this year. Just one last thing before we get the imbalances, 349. At this time of day, near the end of the day, tight stops on all entries. I'm going to tighten up the stop and Rivian. I'm looking for it to break the flat bottom breakdown here, but I'm not giving it to 65 anymore because it is the end of the day and time to start tempering your expectations.
That's 50 Fahrenheit, by the way. People are like, oh, you guys think 10 is warm.
Oh,
It's 50 degrees Fahrenheit
50.
right now in freezing cold Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
it ain't freezing here.
Oh, man, it's not,
Like,
even,
it's
it's not even close to freezing, man. It's gorgeous outside.
I
Yeah.
still have to wear a sweater.
There we go.
Here, but
It's 64 degrees in Florida.
Fort
So
Lauderdale-
Florida right now having similar weather to great old north. All right.
This is exactly why natural gas sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
Because
feel
it's the same thing in Europe too. Like this warm winter thing, that's not good.
first of all imbalances. So we're in a couple names here, and I don't like to be in names into imbalances, but there's nothing I can do about it at this point. Hopefully, they just don't come too huge. They weren't like that yesterday. They were relatively muted. So I'm just gonna watch out. I'm gonna get rid of broker, and in about 5 seconds, we're gonna get an updated. A lot of these are from earlier. Of course, 350 happens now. So let's see what happens here. All right, Meta doesn't seem to want to move too much through any kind of level right now, so that's kind of muted.
Apple, Amazon, million sells.
They're all sells. Screw this. I'll probably going to wind up losing on this then. I was hoping Microsoft or Apple and all this could be a buy. So here goes. Here's the move down. So again, coming in as a negative Nancy here into the close for the market. So those of you that were maybe thinking we could get a move downside tomorrow, it's 2.1 billion to sell. Thank you, Adara, over there on the desk as some of these names continue to bleed out a little bit. Like this is what could happen. Look, Apple immediately dropping down 20 cents. It's not huge, but like what caused that move? It's the imbalances. The Amazon short, I probably won't live that down. We could have had it, but we didn't. Other than that, there's Tesla with the sell. We're already short this name, so whatever. Hopefully that will work. We just got stopped out at something. I'll have to find out what that was. But some nice downside moves here. Was it Microsoft? No. Was it Meta? No. We'll find out what it was. Oh, no, it was nothing. Okay. But anyways, here we go. That's what's happening right now in the imbalances. Looks like it's going to be a sell side activity here today for the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
it was green.
good pull.
And now it's red again.
But that's a perfect poll, man. It's going to finish right here.
Well, we had 1,100 votes on the poll. 56% were saying yes, go Santa Claus rally. There's still a chance here, but the 44% are currently winning. I love when we do it because it can be a coin flip when you're flat on the day, but when you get a big move, like we've had days we put that poll on, and then all of a sudden it's like 0.4, 0.5%, and there were some real good opportunities if you had the direction right. Here, like you had some scalp trading opportunities on some names. I only pulled up EOS because I didn't know what the stock was, and I saw a million in bounce on it to the buy side, but that's a nothing burger. Rivian, which I'm in, is not moving off these lows. I put a bid down here at 52, which is a whopping 5 cents, but there's only 8 minutes left in the day, and it's the similar thing with Intel. Like Intel, I was able to get more here at 50. But at this point, if it even gets to VWAP, that's good. You're just running out of time for it to go. How do you read the imbalance chart? Simple. I like to keep the BRKR because if something came out big and then went small or got bigger, I kind of want to know that, and I don't always remember or take a snapshot of it. But here, there's the symbol. There's the direction of the imbalance, either a buy imbalance or a sell imbalance. That's easy. Then the size of the imbalance. Here, so TLT 1.9 million shares to the buy side with a paired volume of 3.6. So the total open interest in the closing auction on TLT is about 5.57 million shares, and a third of that is imbalanced to the buy side. And then the market time is just an update. The auction is like a theoretical auction price if they happen to close it right now. I've never known how accurate those are for NASDAQ in New York, so you don't hear us talk about them because my experience is they don't really tell you much of anything going into the close. But it's more important how big that imbalance is, and then of course the paired volume. If it's a 2 million imbalance with a paired volume of 200 million, not as big a deal, right? It's kind of obvious because the open interest relative to the size of the imbalance is going to be your story. So Intel, maybe we get VWAP. It's not moving. Rivian, it just hit 52s. I have a bid down here at 44, which I'll put in front of 45 because that's a more round number. But relatively little time to go in the day. Steve G just said, wow, Oxy. Really? $60 for Oxy, but that's down on the day. Oxy bleeding today. Maybe we get another crack at that $55 level on Oxy. That'd be nice.
All right, maybe, yeah. So we got a little bit lighter there on. I would love to get that kind of thing popping off.
Buffett level.
Yeah. Well, the guy owns so much of that stock. All right, so it sucks what just happened to us. Microsoft just went down and hit our 65 level and then bumped right back up. But that's kind of what's going to happen here at the end of the day, as we kind of expect little moves like that as these imbalances turn around. So, anyways, Microsoft just hung around 376 all day. We'll look at this stock tomorrow, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure out more about Microsoft. I mean, it still could come into the bottom one more time. I was trying to buy a little bit of Meta down here. It's unfortunately I was waiting at 11s. It doesn't look like we'll be able to get that price right now. We could get a little bit of a flip over. Oh, that sucks about Microsoft. It's too bad. We were getting out of our positions anyways, but it did come back down, and wow, there's a nice little spike up. That sucks. Too bad. So sad on that one. But other than that, man, I mean, yeah, it's been a pretty good day overall, I feel like.
Oh, Intel. 50.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Look at that.
It's 55.
Yeah, so it just comes out at 55, so it comes the other way. So see that? It was just cruising to the upside, and then boom, straight back down there as 355. Those imbalances kind of get spicy again. Apple still stays, Amazon still stays. As look at this, the market is now bleeding down into the downside to close the day. So yeah, man, maybe we are getting some kind of an imbalance. Possibly leading to some sort of a trade tomorrow. So we'll wait out for this one. It's only 4 minutes left now in the market. Fisker with quite the nice sell, it looks like there. So, but not moving at all. Intel not doing much. Roblox coming back in again. And then Tesla trying to get back to the bottom. We haven't really done that. Oops, I don't need to close this. We haven't really done that much there into the close other than watch this nice little sell-off happen.
You know, Fisker has a really flat bottom here at like $1.40. It is wild. Like, I'm not saying this is going to go, but I think it's like 42% short float. You can look it up. You know what? As a matter of fact, it's 354. I have one last fill I can probably take on Rivian just to get out of it. I'm not going to take any new positions, so I might as well get this right for you guys. I pop up my trade ideas and realize that the last time I looked at it was 42. Somehow it's now 45%. Those are always delayed. It's probably changed. These are estimates, and they're never going to be real time, but that's pretty accurate. 45% short float, and now it's consolidating at the bottom. At some point, you got to figure this thing is going to at least attempt to break out and squeeze. And the day it does, and it breaks $2, I want to be there. As a day trader, I mean, come on. Are you not going to be looking at Fisker if it does it? I think we will be, and it looks like it's finally making a real bottom. Like, that's a month-long consolidation when the stock was falling like a rock for 2 months. It went from 650 to $1.50 in 2 months and has gone sideways for a month. That's not a bad look. I'm not saying I would go long in like a swing account or anything like that, although I could at least think about that. If I hadn't taken Rivian, I would have maybe thought about this. But as a breakout trade, I'll be looking for some breakouts on Fisker in the coming days and months, I do think. But I mean, the company's down here for a reason. So it's not a fundamental look. It's just a look at the chart.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, my daughter hits the ice soon, about 4 o'clock, 4:30. That should be fun for them. Okay, Microsoft bleeding down a little bit. We got to get ready to wrap up. I got to get out of here soon. All right, so Intel. I mean, pretty nice move down. Let's just capture some profits here on Intel. Whoa, look at that big follower down on that one.
It whipped me out at 45.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, there is a seller there on this.
Big one.
We'll see if we get a 30. We didn't get a 38. It just refreshed it right there. I'll just get it. Well, there we go. We punched out at 39 immediately. So let's go. That's going to be good trade on that one. We're just going to get out of Roblox right here today. Kind of waiting to see if there's anything that sort of went bump in the night on this, and it doesn't look like anything happened. It just went straight to the downside. Again, we did average a piece in here. Obviously, we don't have that many shares, or I'd be worried about it. So we'll wait to see if we get something out now on Roblox. Maybe 35s. Do we just get out there? Where did I put that out? Okay, we'll wait for that. And then the other trade here is going to be Meta trying to get back upside right now. We're long at 41s. Let's just see. Again, it just filled us in that sort of quadunk move there. So we'll see if we can get an out there on Meta before the show ends. And I got to run over to the desk. So I'm just going to wait, see if Meta rips up there. We did get out on Roblox. You're going to see that come out there at 36 right there. And then Meta, again, 25 cents out of the money right now. It's really not even a hit. Like, we can definitely absorb this. Let me just take a piece out here at 29s. There it is. And now we'll see if we can get back up to the upside here for Meta. Let's go. That'll be nice if we can end the day here with a nice little bump up here on META.
Well, I think it's safe to say the market's not going to get back into green. Nvidia almost went red. That tanked $1.50 on the flip of the imbalances. There were some real turns. I didn't even see it on the imbalance locator, but whatever it was, at 55, you generally speaking will get a big update on all of those auctions. It just happens on the NYSE floor, and a lot of times you'll see them shift, so you'll get these moves in stocks. That's why you'll always hear it, not always, a lot of times you'll hear things like, oh, I'm tightening up my stop at 55. That's my only good explanation for why I tightened up my stop to 50 even at 55 on Intel. It wicked me out and then dropped like 10 cents right away. I just covered Rivian. Maybe going to throw a note to 2350 being a bit of a thing, because this was a very weak stock consolidating off the bottom that just held 2350 on a double bottom. And you zoom out a bit further, yesterday in the afternoon it held on to 2350 at about 2:30 and then closed near the high. So that looks like a good level, I guess, in either direction. But there's only 20 seconds left, which I just realized because I looked at the clock. That is sitting right next to me, obviously. So let's get the camera off me. Let's throw it on Adara here, as it is the second last trading day over in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. Of 2023, I obviously meant. The market is not ending tomorrow, but the market is now closed. It did close to the red, so the NASDAQ was down 0.11 when I just looked over, so it closed red. The 44% of you that voted, we have 1,200 votes. 44% of you are correct about it. How many people were watching to get 1,200 votes? I'm just going to double check here.
That's a lot of votes.
That's a lot of votes. Why is enlarging this? Okay, there we go. I had to scroll up there. So 1 out of every 3 people watching voted, but didn't hit. I just hit the like myself. 320 likes. That can't be right. Let me refresh it here. 1,200 people voted on the poll, 1 in 3, but there weren't only 300 likes. I refreshed it, and now it says 600, so go YouTube. But we should be at 1,000 there. That's what it should be. We should never have more people voting in the poll than we get likes. But we love everybody in the community regardless. Appreciate everybody for the super chats. It was a fantastic week. It's been a fantastic week of trading. I'm not here tomorrow. Always going to be in. I'm heading up north to spend some time with some family, my in-laws. Shout out to Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s, especially to you, Ramin. I know you haven't been feeling the absolute best. I didn't realize that you were under the weather a little bit, so you've been an absolute trooper. Shout out to you. And of course, shout out to Adara and Sharif on the midday and filling in duo for Brendan, who is back tomorrow after a much deserved holiday. So it's been a fun one. Happy New Year to all of you. I won't get a chance to say it on air, so I'll say it right now. Happy New Year to the entire community. We'll see you back next week. But of course, don't go anywhere. The show is still here tomorrow when the U.S. markets open, and it's usually a very good trading day. So you're going to want to make sure you tune in. Lots of good opportunities on the last day of the year, in my experience trading over the last 20 years. You know who I am. Oh, I did want to say this because we've kind of been neglecting it. Shout out to Kat.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
I can do the rundown all this time, and then we don't always say what's up to Kat. We haven't even said hi today. There she is. We have a fantastic team here. Shout out to Greg, the former floor manager, who just came by to visit as well. It was really good seeing him. That's what's lots of fun. Of course, fantastic interview with Mr. Wonderful. It was a great time having him on, so I want to thank him for that. But if you're looking for more interesting guests, then look no farther than the Market Recap Show right now with Sean at the desk.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And now we got the Market Recap Show because traders stay late and we're here. We're at the big desk now. we're pretty comfortable here. We like this. We like this spot. What a big day it was for us on the show. Of course, we did have Kevin O'Leary. We did have oil actually moving all the way to the downside. Thank you so much for everybody that's here. I see everybody in the chat. So there it is, man. Thank you so much to everybody. And of course, a Happy New Year to Neil. He won't be here tomorrow. So Happy New Year to Neil. Happy New Year to everybody who may be not trading tomorrow. And I can't blame you. Although that move down at the end of the day, something to talk about, I feel like. You saw the NASDAQ make a little bit of a move down in at the end of the day. Let's go on a 2-minute chart just to see a little bit of a bleed down there, starting or ending the day red. So it's actually the first red day in the last 4, which is the Santa Claus rally movement. And you can see the cues. You can barely see it on there, but we do turn slightly red, down 0.04 there today. So again, Santa Claus rally still fully intact. We are positive in that rally, but again, it's about 1.7%, I believe, on the NASDAQ. Average move 2.7. So do we have a 1% move in us tomorrow? Maybe we do. Hi, Tammy. I see her waiting in the wings there. That's nice. All right. USO down 2.5% today. Again, not a nice move in the afternoon. Just fell down in. But hey, are we complaining? I mean, we talked about inflation. The dollar was moving around a little bit today, and down goes oil. Well, you might want to know why oil is falling to the downside. Well, I guess shipping companies in the Red Sea making moves today. So maybe people thinking that, hey, maybe the Red Sea, maybe it's not that big of a problem as far as disruption is concerned. But let's go over to USO on the daily chart. It hasn't been pretty for oil, man. Nice move to the downside. And this is why I asked Kevin O'Leary today about China a little bit. And are we worried about that? If manufacturing is still going to be strong, which I believe it is, and China is still going to be a powerhouse in that, we still need oil to produce things. So I feel like some of these bottoms still intact here for USO, back down into $60 there. We did have yesterday, again, I'm just reading some notes. It's more about Suez Canal, things like that, as the market pushes back in on some of those names. So today, the biggest and the baddest, USO, XLE, OIH, all to the downside. Interesting to see silver and gold as Cornelius, oh no, what's his name again? Cornelius something. Damn it, I keep forgetting it. He's the guy in Rudolph. Cornelius. I'm looking in the chat. These guys know everything. Yeah, the guy that has the pick there and he winds up. Oh, man. Yukon. There it is. Thank you, Ponzi Fonzie. Cornelius Yukon. I can't believe I just wasted time on that. All right. UNG. Oh, here we go. Look at FXI. How long have we been talking about FXI for? You know, a while. Ever since we broke through that $25 mark, which is where the 50-period moving average is, are we too extended now on this move? Of course, as you're going to zoom back out here on a daily chart, what is FXI, first of all? You guys might be asking me that. Well, Sean, what's FXI? I'll answer it. It is the large cap China ETF. You can see that at the top left. Look at this downside move in this name, right? I feel like now I feel like Alfred's saying, right? But nice move to the downside here, 23.20. Hey, where was Alfred today? Is he coming back tomorrow? I don't know. All right, nice downside move. Watch out for a $20 dip buy opportunity in FXI. I almost think you pull the trigger right now. Is China that bad? I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, talk about a name that's been getting killed in China. I still like Alibaba. I'm not sure if we got into it today or not, but I do like this name again, bouncing off some of the bottoms. Look at this trade. I don't know, man. Maybe, I know Tammy wants to talk about a few things. Actually, let me check my email. What does she want to talk about again? Here, I've just been so busy, man. Oh, yeah. Eli Lilly into earnings. That's going to be a good one. February 6th. Let's get Tammy's opinion on Eli Lilly coming through as well. Then BMY. So we'll look a little bit in the biotech, healthcare technology sector as well with Tammy very soon. But what about Alibaba, man? I mean, I kind of like this name trading down into 70. Look how good this is going to be if we break the 50 and then get above $80. Let's go. And then yesterday's guest on really liked lithium. So if we think that, hey, EVs are going to be a thing, I mean, lithium, hello, like pretty much, you know, the batteries of the future, are they? Is it solar? Is it lithium? Is it nuclear? What are we doing? But lithium, nice move back up to the upside here today. Could be a name to watch out for. Up 2.5% is the LIT ETF. And you know what, man? love them or hate them, yesterday Raider Trader called this move for the long term, and today kind of didn't do anything. It kind of exploded upside to start the day. Pretty flat for lithium. UNG, Nat Gas, I mean, again, guys, Nat Gas has been a killer for many people's accounts, and I don't think that's going to change. We just talked about the weather. I'm going to ask Tammy what her weather's like there down south, but someone said in Florida today, I think it was Fort Lauderdale, it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 50 Fahrenheit right now in Toronto. So let me double check that. I don't want to lie to everybody. Oh, I'm wearing the wrong watch today. Yeah, so very, very warm all over the place. That might be something to do with UNG, and you could see it here. Although it had a nice bounce off of 460, 470. Look at the daily on UNG, man. It's been absolutely destroyed. I don't even know if it's going to load properly, how badly this name's been beaten down. There's some bottoms there, 440. I don't know, man. Catch a falling knife? I don't think so. I don't really get excited in UNG. I don't know, Tammy, maybe if you're listening, but I don't really see that much happening here in UNG. I'd like to see it break through this $8 mark, which is ways away before we get anywhere near that. An interesting drop down today in Tesla, actually. What do I have to talk about that? Sectors at key, semis at key levels. We'll talk about that in a minute. That Tesla move down today, also very interesting. Now, we were short, man. Oh, we were short. You guys want to talk about Tesla. If you're looking for traders, man, hi. Look at this move on Tesla. We actually hammered it. We didn't hammer it as much as we should have. And it doesn't look as good because I have this wick here. Let me just edit this so it'll look a little more special. Data editor, I got to get rid of this. That low was not 247, 256 O's there. Now let's see what happens on this move. So there it is right now for Tesla. We finally got short on this 255 break. Again, under the 50 period. Nice move. Big candle to the downside. Resist, 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 break. There it is, 254. That's $1. Then here it is right now. That's 253. Then there it is at the end of the day, 253 again. So $2 move to the downside in Tesla. But what caused this move? I mean, it's a huge move down. We know there's competition from NIO. We know there's competition over there in China with BYD. But it's Xiaomi entering the building today with a possible competitor with Tesla creating this little downside move. Let me just do a check-in with our friends over here at Trade Ideas. Is anything moving here that we need to know about? LZ, what's up to Legal Zoom? Nice little move up to 1190 there. And we just got reset. But is there anything else here moving in the aftermarket? No, there is not. So, all right, that's Tesla. Before we call on Tammy, I did want to do a couple things here. As we're not quite done our sector watch, let me just open this back up here and have a quick look. Where's my sector watch list? Here it is right now. All right, so OIH, FXI, TAN, nicely done. And again, as the rates become a little more clear, I figure that we could go over the CME rate tool, but the Fed's planning on cutting into next year, right? I believe it's 125 basis points. There's some more aggression out there, 175, 150, but I feel like between 100 to 125 is probably where we'll get that in. So interest rate sensitive sectors like solar is going to benefit from this. I think the IBB, I mean, we can look at this as well. The biotech ETF, look at this move that we've had again. Where's the daily? I need the daily chart on this, not a 1 minute chart. Nice move on IBB. I mean, it wasn't a Fed pivot. It was just the Fed talking. And the last time he came on board, nice move back up since December. Huge move back up there. Look at IBB bouncing its head off of, again, 52-week highs. Congratulations if you had that. This is just one of those things that went 52-week low to 52-week high in 45 days. All right, that was something that was pretty interesting. Now, semis at key levels. What do I mean by that? Well, has anybody checked out NVIDIA lately? I mean, this name is at $500 and staring it right in the face. It's been doing that for a minute, right? Let's see what NVIDIA wants to do. Let's zoom back in a little. I said zoom in. There we go. I finally figured this out, what to do. Look how much time it's spent up here. But the interesting thing about these levels, you see up here, north of 500, let's just see the next, that's why I wrote down the other day, 504 fade short. I feel like the next time we come up here, you might get one little move back, but then if we take out this 506, then I think, man, NVIDIA is actually forward PE. It's like half of what ARM's valuation is. It's like about 2/3 of AMD. I feel that NVIDIA if it gets going and takes out some of this key levels, 506, 500 northbound, and we hover up there, this could moonshot. Pay attention. Tomorrow I'm doing another podcast, and we're going to talk about my plays for 2024 and some ideas that I like. NVIDIA bouncing its head up here, that's another key level. And then, by the way, hello, AMD. Did you know that AMD's quarter was actually, hey, he's in the building. What's up, my guy? How you doing over there? Lots of traders coming back, which I'm not going to say his name. The reason why I can't say this guy's name is he may be wanted by the FBI. So shout out to you over there, my guy, as he's laughing in the background. Okay, look at this. Nice move back up to the upside. AMD had a bad quarter, right? It was $94 bottom. Oh, well, that's nice. How about 50% increase in stock price up to 150 right now for AMD. But again, another key price that we're banging our head on for AMD 150. And then look what happened today. You get that top wick, right? We actually shorted here. Just in case you don't believe me, if those of you don't watch, I trade live every single day. Real shares, real money on the line. We've had 3 negative days in all of December. It's been pretty good trading. We've been pretty happy. And part of the reason is trades like this. This AMD, look what we waited for. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit here. Let me just maximize this. So I actually waited for this. So we didn't trade it at all day, right? We let AMD, again, there's that bad wick. Let me zoom out of it. So we had this huge move up. Definitely a missed opportunity. We should have been long, 100%. Instead, I was fighting the Microsoft long. Okay, but the idea was once we got up here, look at this. We don't really have any top wicks. Maybe we have one there right off the open, which signaled it downside. We had a couple top wicks there. Look at the move back down, right? That's not an extended wick really, but it still makes the move back down. But look what looks different here. Look what happened with volume as well, back down. Not only do traders stay late, but we're also doing this. We're breaking down real live trades that all of you can have. How many people are watching right now, by the way? Hit the like, hit the subscribe. 2,400 people. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me right now. 2,500 people watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Plus, we're also on X. Let me see how many people are actually watching us on Twitter. Shout out to everybody. Oh, I must have retweeted. Hey, Tammy, that's a good picture. Look at this. We have Santa Claus rally going on. We have Bitcoin. What's this person holding there? A chip. Wow, man. Fabian and Ramin, you guys are on fire right now. I don't know how many people are watching on X. But okay, quickly, before we go over to Tammy, quickly. This was a high volume, right? So we talk about this. She's the Fibonacci princess, right? I talked about this last time with her. You don't make trades because one indicator hits. You know, you don't make trades just because you see one thing. You want to gel everything together. So guess what? We only had 2 things today. AMD key level 150, that's it. Key price level. I know it sounds ridiculous, right? But sometimes that matters. Just go check Tesla 260, okay? And then the other thing that mattered here was the other indicator that I use, volume. This was the largest like look, cruising, spike. The spike in volume is that wick top. So we waited for it to come back in a little bit. Once we see that, we hit the short, and then as they say, the rest is history. And actually went about a buck 30 or so in the money for us. We wound up taking the last piece out at 149 change. Okay, I'm getting, is she ready? Okay, but I'm not ready yet. I'm ready in a second. All right, here we go. Thank you so much for watching. It's about to get a lot better because we're bringing in Tammy. It's Trader Talk time. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Uh-oh. I can't hear you. Mic on mute?
Sorry, yep.
There we go. Uh-oh.
I have to apologize. I have a household full of family right now, so.
Well, I appreciate the mute then, but now we're live and we're good to go. How were the holidays?
Fantastic, wonderful. Like I said, I have a house full of family visiting from out of town right now. You know, we live on an island off the coast of Georgia, so everybody likes to come whenever they've got time off. So that's where we are right now, and it is beautiful here. It's
I was going to ask you the weather.
And sunny outside. I heard you were talking about UNG, so.
Sorry, I interrupted there by accident. What was the temperature there?
65.
65?
And sunny.
Is that normal? Is that warm for this time of year?
It's pretty normal this time of year.
Yeah, we were
we're
getting.
normally in the, now last year around this time, we actually did get some freezing weather, but it's not typical at all.
Funny
We
thing-
normally don't really get in the freezing temperatures.
Have you been to Toronto?
I have not been to Toronto. I actually would love to come to Toronto sometime. I have never been.
Well, when you do, we'll go out. We'll paint the town, Probably not. We'll go out to dinner. But yeah, you're open invitation. I love to show you the studio.
Awesome. Thank you.
And everything like that. I think that would be awesome to have you here as well. We had Kevin O'Leary on today. That was pretty fun. So we had him on for about a half hour. That was really fun. We went back and forth. Of course, he talked all about crypto. Hey, what's your opinion on crypto? I haven't talked to you about that. Are you a holder of crypto? Any love there for the BTC?
Yeah, I have Ethereum.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just happen to have some.
And we're just
I had a bunch of Bitcoin at one point, and my work told me to sell it. That was when we had that big flush down, and I actually have not bought back in since then. And I had some Ethereum that I got back in on, but besides that, I haven't bought back in on Bitcoin yet.
Yeah, we're all hodling. Hold on for dear life, right there. Okay, all right. So you messaged me earlier today. There's a few things that were lining up that you didn't mind looking at, and one of them is an interesting name to me because I've been selling some Eli Lilly north of $600 because that move was really extended. I do actually believe that there's going to be something, and it's already there with those GLP-1 drugs, of course, helping with diabetes and getting weight. I mean, that's been such a sort of a headwind for many Americans these days, and a big drain on health costs as well, federally, everywhere, statewide. I believe in that. I think they're going to have some monster drug sales. But let's go over some charts. Let's look at Eli Lilly ahead of, you said February 6th with earnings?
Yes.
So let's go. The show's on you right now. We'll do a screen share. Let's talk about what you want.
Okay, and I agree with you because I'll tell you, I personally am not on that drug, but a lot of my parents are, my friends are. So I really do think that we're gonna see a big bounce here. Now, I will tell you though, when you look at my charts, it doesn't look so great right now. What's kind of going on though is that we're in consolidation mode, okay, and just really have been back and forth ever since we failed on the 8th of November, and then of course we got that bounce on the 15th of December. The thing that, I told you, my husband's been trading for over 35 years. And one of the things I was talking to him about this morning is that we do just have a little bit of an uphill battle here.
Right.
We do have some price resistance in our way. But I really do believe he's bullish, Lilly. And a lot of people that, I've talked to that have been trading for a long time, they're bullish Lilly. I really do think that we're going to end up pushing through this and things are going to end up looking a lot better here. But for right now, what you're up against, if you are bullish Lilly, is we are below the 50 and we've got this huge cluster of resistance. What I would like to see us do is to get through that 597 area and then maybe look for a pullback to get bullish. If we can do that here and then run into earnings on February 6th. Are going to be the Lilly earnings.
Do you, Tammy, hold positions into earnings, hoping that something happens? Or are you more of a reactionary trader where we'll play levels after we see the report?
Well, honestly, what I like is the run into earnings,
Okay.
where you normally see a big run up into earnings. I do not hold things through earnings. I used to, and I just would rather take my money and run than to have to worry about it these days, because people can, the companies can make earnings and then they still get downgraded. So it just feels like there's not even really any control over it anymore.
No, I have.
For me, and what I say is my work is a crapshoot when it comes to earnings, because you can look at all of this right now, and if Lilly had earnings tomorrow, we could slam through all of this and go straight up, and none of this resistance might even matter. And you might say, well, I got short off of your work. And it's like, well, if we open up and it blows through this resistance, then it doesn't matter, right? And then the other thing that can happen, of course, is that we end up failing and none of this price support that I have even holds.
Right.
So I say don't hold it through earnings when it comes to the work that I do personally. And I say then you can wait till after earnings and have me run the chart for you again, and I can show you a place to re-enter.
Okay.
After that.
Well, we'll definitely be having you back on February 6th. I mean, that's still a while away. And I actually have to say something else. Danielle Shea, of course. And that's You may know her. She also is very similar to that, likes to play run-ups into earnings and would rather be flat, if not relatively light, on positions day of or day after that. So I agree. And actually, as a day trader, I tend to stay away from names that have earnings for that exact reason. I was sitting here one time and it was like, and I just had an example of AMD. AMD was getting hit on their earnings call and then bang, just straight up to the upside there. And it's like, okay, I didn't think it was good. What do I know? What about Bristol Myers? Come over to my screen right now if you can, please, Fabian. This was another name. So unlike Eli Lilly, Bristol Myers is not having the most fantastic year. We're down to $51 and trying to bounce off the bottom. You had mentioned to me of the nice dividend here of 4.7% being paid on January 4th. So thank you for that. Maybe I just stole some of your magic there, but you gave me that information. So I got to give you credit. What is Bristol Myers shaping up to? I actually like that name. I feel like maybe you want to buy some relative weakness in this all the way to the downside and now bouncing its head off of an indicator that I like, the 50-period simple moving average on the daily. It looks like we're having a problem getting above it. But I think if we can clear 52, 53 bucks here, we may get a nice move back into 60. What say you, Miss Tammy?
I completely agree with you. That's exactly how I feel. We are failing off of that 50 moving day average right now. And we are still below that 200, which is way up here. So it's going to be a while before we even get to that. But the 5 has crossed above that 13. So I can make a case for the bulls here. And the other thing is about Bristol Myers is, once again, I was talking to my husband about this morning because he really is, is just absolutely brilliant, is that he is saying it's extremely undervalued.
Okay.
So that's where why he thinks that we're going to end up seeing a nice bounce here. So if we can get over that 50-day moving average, get a little pullback. What I really like about the setup where we are right now is, if we can get over that 50-day moving average, not take out the high from the 22nd of December, this support is still good down here. Right. So, say we push through that 50 tomorrow and you say, hey, I want to enter on a pullback, this support is still good. And I really, really like this 50 area, anywhere from 49 to 50 area as a setup. You've got a couple of pieces of symmetry and a 618. I've got a lot of clients that just trade off of pink 618s. Now we say symmetry by themselves, the red one, are the only ones that you should trade off by themselves, but 618s are that strong of a Fibonacci number. So that is why I like this setup around 49.50 area.
Perfect. And I'm going to hit this little calculation thing. If you notice on the screen, we have like all these numbers going through right now because, hey, man, we're looking at numbers and we like that one. That's why we have the Fibonacci Princess on, man. Let's go over some things that potentially we don't normally look at. And that was a good one right there with BMY. Look, I feel like I could talk to you for a very, very long time. However, we are running out of time right now, Tammy. So I'm going to say, have a happy new year, and I want to thank you so much for coming on as one of our newest guests here on the show. I think we've had a couple good moves. Promise me maybe on the new year you'd come back and we'll talk about this Eli Lilly and Bristol Myers and stuff like that.
I would be honored to come back, Sean. I've had such a good time so far, and I can't wait for 2024.
Good, perfect. Thank you so much. And again, happy holidays and a happy new year to you and your family. And tell all those kids behind you, hey, they can come on anytime they want to come on. Danielle's brought her son on. I believe it's Luke, I believe.
Yeah, there's Luke and Leo. And Leo is the same age as my oldest daughter. And then Luke is the baby.
Is the baby. Yeah, me and Luke jive, man. Me and Luke, every time we see each other, man, we're fist bumping. It's great. I love that Luke kid. So anyways, shout out. Family is so important, obviously, to you, to me, as well. So, hey, happy holidays. Thank you. That's Tammy. Ciao.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye. That's
Bye-bye.
Always fun times on Trader TV Live, especially when you're rocking here. This is the recap show. Traders stay late. Bang right there. Thank you so much. Who is that? That's Fabian over there. I know who it is. All right. Happy New Year to everybody. But hey, we still got to do a couple things I like to do. And it's like I keep saying, it's my show. We'll do what we want right now. Okay. Let's go over to my profile here and go over some Sean's tweets. All right, hold on. Next topic. There we go. All right. Producer, host, interviewer. Not much else. All right. I want to talk about this right now. Look at this. All right. A lot of traders, how do I, oh yeah, F10? No, F11? Oops. You know what the scroll with the thing is that I'm trying, ooh, okay. I need to practice this. All right. Look at this. I just want to say a lot of traders right now are like, oh my God, there's so many stocks ripping. Like, this is unbelievable. It's been such a great year. But you know what? Only 12 stocks in the S&P 500 are up 100+% this year. You're going to say, who is this joker? 100+%? That's great. There's 500 names in the S&P 500. That's only representing a paltry 2.4%. Okay? We've had those moves. Like, that's not an outside move. Obviously, in the last little while, it's been like under 1%. 100% moves is a great one. But look at this. Back in 09, 9.4, obviously following the 08 crash, right? You're going to get outsized moves to the upside after you've had dramatic moves down. You're going to get the same thing in 97, 98 with 7.6. But this is not an outsized year for things like that. I just want to make sure that everybody sort of understands that. There's a lot more that can happen here in this market. We could go up a lot more than we even thought. Bill Gates' portfolio, we talked a little bit about that. No surprise that it's Microsoft, Berkshire as we go. We talked a little bit about NVIDIA, but here's something else that I want to talk about, because I feel like cash flow is very important. You can't have cash flow unless you have revenues. So look at this. Although Tesla makes the move down today, I mean, revenue growth in the past decade. Come on, man, plus 5,000%. What are we even talking about here? Meta, Tesla, NVIDIA, Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, and Apple. Let's go. I mean, we know this for revenues, and of course it's going to be in the tech space, as technology is now such a huge part of our life, especially in the last 10 years. You know, ChatGPT is just over a year old. I mean, there's so much that's going to happen in the tech space. I still stay long these names. Look at the revenue generation over there on those names. So, all right, whatever. I'm just going to wrap up the show. I got to get home. It's been such a fantastic day, but we can't do anything without a roll call. All right, so let's do that right now. Who's still here? Let's go. I'm not going to go to Top Chat, although Top Chat is nice. Let's go to live chat right now. I also do got to do a super chat thing. Shout out to everybody that super chatted, man. Wow, Josh, Sure Hands, Mark. Shout out to Bears vs. Bulls for giving me this information. He puts it together every single day, like outsized his job. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. Raider Trader. Oh, this must have been from yesterday. I must have not done it yesterday. Shout out to Raider. John H., Nick Dubb, Evolving Finance, Tisha, Tara, Garrett, Ben Fish, and support staff, XF, Ben, thank you, Ben. Again, you are a good super chat today, man. $50, shout out to you. Doesn't really matter the number, but when it stands out, you're going to get an extra shout out from me too. Ben, happy holidays to you. Happy New Year if I don't see you tomorrow. Stan Cho, AI, Ian Respecto. Man, I'm losing my way here. I was up early today. I got up like 5:30, 6 o'clock, went to the rink to see my daughter who's now playing. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see her today because they traveled and I wasn't able to get the day off, Brendan. Shout out to Zanti and Devin as well. Apparently, I don't get days off anymore. All right, who's here? Let's go again. It's roll call. Really? All right, what's up to Tom's Trades? What's up to Eddie? What's up to the Piper? Thank you, Noah. Says, great job today. I appreciate that, man. I had a lot of fun with O'Leary as well. He actually, his team messaged me directly and gave some good feedback. So I want to thank that. And that's where I'm kind of trying to get him on a podcast. You want him on a podcast? We'll see. I like the podcast. Sean Don, what's up? Yeah, thank you so much, Trey Only. For Profits here. Lava News, thank you so much. CompuCare, the boring man. What's up to Future Eddie? I'm going to miss people. What's up to Tisha? What's up to Future Eddie again? Mr. Kelsey, what's up? M. Kelsey, sorry. Lucas is here. Julian's here. Jacob's here. Paulie D, what's up? D. Westermeyer, thank you. So I am not Mr. Wonderful, but thank you, Mr. Westermeyer, for that. And I hope I visit New York. Hey, man, I'm about to visit anywhere. I need to go on a holiday. I don't go on a holiday. I want to visit somewhere, but I did promise to take my kids somewhere. I got to go somewhere warm at some point. But then I think, you know what? Hey, why not do a Trader TV Live travel show? I thought that would be somewhat important. I'll show up in Chicago, New York, the MIA, Las Vegas, wherever you guys are located. We can make it happen. So let's try to make that happen in the new year. No matter where you are, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe. Hey, look, We're here every single day, apparently. And now, tomorrow, there's no recap show tomorrow because I can't be in two places at once. So it'll be tomorrow, will be the podcast, which will be live Saturday morning. That should be a lot of fun. Welcome back, Brendo, tomorrow. It'll be no Neil, but it'll be my guy, Obi. That should be a hell of a fun show as well. Thank you so much. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm Sean. Thank you so much to Fabian. Shout out to Kat if she's still here. If not, I'll talk to her tomorrow. Ciao, everybody. Have a great one.